Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly game master today. Because today, we are setting aside our axes, our swords, our spell books, and we're picking up our environmental suits, our laser rifles, and our spell caches. Because today, we are playing the first of two adventures playing Paizo's awesome science fantasy RPG Starfinder. And we are going to be playing today the first adventure from the Starfinder adventure path, the threefold conspiracy, titled the Chimera Mystery. Now, if you intend to play the Chimera Mystery, this will obviously have spoilers in it. So if you want to play this, or you're going to be playing this, or you are playing this, go away and come back once you finish playing. Otherwise, let me introduce you to the Starfinders that we will have with us today. So, joining us today, why don't you guys tell us who you are and who you'll be playing today. First up, we have Dave.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave. I missed Ash this morning, sorry, but I'm here today now, and I'm playing Mozo the Magnificent, who I think is going to speak a little bit like West and maybe drive you guys crazy.
Lovely. And I see, so we can see the little blue/purple fuzzy 3-armed or 6-armed creature below there. What species does Mozo come from?
Oh, right. Mozo is a skittermander and not a dice bag, but he's a skittermander.
Actually,
he has 6 arms.
I have you up
and
here.
He's a technomancer who casts spells and does computer stuff, looks like.
Nice. Excellent. Next up
and
is...
I'm trying to get into character by having like sweater arms and then I was going to have extra arms, but this might not work.
Nice.
So he's got 6 arms, and I don't think I'm going to try and pull off the 6-arm thing today.
That sounds good. Next up is Arlen.
Hi, I'm Arlen. I'm playing Zeta 5, who is an android of the Mystic class, and the Law Officer theme is sort of a bigger, more fighty mystic, it seems like, than stand back and spellcasty mystic. So we're gonna smack some things in classic Arlen character fashion.
Nice. Excellent. Next up is Carl.
So this is Carl. I'm playing Dutch. Dutch is a Vesk, which is a big lizard, anthropomorphic lizard man. He is a soldier who happens to also be a mercenary. So very much inspired by Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in Predator, except being a lizard man.
Outstanding. Nice. And last but certainly not least is George.
Hey, I'm George. I am playing Zondo Sakari, who is a human mystic of the Dream Prophet theme. He's probably almost the exact opposite of Quonks. He's able to open himself up to the Akashic Record, which is like the universal mind, to access knowledge and predictions of future events. And he's very quiet and reserved, and wants to make sure his body is always as pristine and clean and clear as possible, so he can open himself up to whatever comes to him from the universe.
Nice.
So I need to change my name in the.
Yeah.
I was just about to whisper you to let you know.
Quonk was my last character.
Well, I was like, oh, is that his last name?
No, his full name is Mozo Dravono Modo, but he's just that is harder to fit on a poster, so he goes by Mozo. Okay, so guys, our adventure, we talked a little bit, for those listening at home, we talked a little before we went live about what kind of who these characters are. What I can tell you is that all of you guys are departing a place called Liberty Station. That's where our adventure will start here. And I think that our scene opens, guys, with a brilliant bright light. This is session number 3 within 24 hours, so we'll see how my brain holds up.
I'm impressed.
The scene opens with a bright light, flat, like just shining in your face. Blackness surrounds the light and you're staring at it, and you can kind of feel that you are lying down. There's a sound of footprints or footsteps, clunk, 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 on some kind of metal or corrugated floor, clunk, clunk. You're blinking. You can't see anything because of the light, and you can't turn your head. And you hear, you think it's voices? And then you feel a hand on your shoulder. And Zondo, you turn, and you can see that there is a human. An older human man who looks like this. Cybernetic implants in his head, and clearly some other cybernetics. Big rimmed glasses, slender frame, dressed in a station jumpsuit. And he says, I'm sorry, sir, I think you're next. And you kind of look around, and you are in line getting ready to board a starship. You look down, and you can see that you've got a boarding pass in your hand, and as you hold it up, there's this holographic image that kind of goes up on it, and it shows you the ship. This is, guys, the Chimera. And this is typical for passage. The ticket is not like a separate thing. It's part of your comm unit, but it's often they like to show off what you're getting on. You can see that there's boarding information for it, and you remember, oh yeah, I'm in line to get on here. You're going to Absalom Station. Absalom Station is the center of the Pact Worlds. It's also the place where the Starstone is located, the most reliable navigation beacon anywhere in the near space or the Pact Worlds. You look ahead of you, and you can see that waiting about, maybe you can picture this as like the kind of covered hallway you would use to get into an airplane. It's like that, but space. And the person that's waiting there is dressed in white armor, and she appears to be a Riforian. And this is what she looks like, guys. She doesn't have her gun out. Riforians are a species from Triaxis, which is a planet in the Pact Worlds. The neat thing about the Riforians is that Triaxis has very, very long seasons. They last, I believe it's years. And people Riforians born in different seasons will have very, very different looks. The look from her tells you that she is an autumn or fall Riforian. And she looks pretty unimpressed that you're making her wait. You look behind you, and you can see that there are a number of sentients waiting in line, including a big Vesk, who seems to be carrying an awful lot of weaponry. There is an android who seems to be dressed as well, but more of a refined warrior than what the brute force impression that the Vesk offers. And there's a tiny little Skittermander at the back who also sees. There's some others who are behind there too, including a Hobgoblin, another Vesk, but the kindly-looking professor kind of gestures and says, hey, perhaps if you could go?
Yes. I must go. And I just, even though I'm not totally sure exactly what's going on or exactly what's happening and how I got here, this feels like something I should be doing, so...
Yeah, and you know, as you're walking forward, you guys are all feeling glad to be rid of Liberty Station, and grateful to be getting onto the Chimera and making your way back towards the Pact Worlds and to your destinations afterwards. So the woman checks you in, and as she does, there's a quick transfer of some information to your comm unit, which includes the layout of the Chimera. So you guys have as well a handout that has the full layout of the Chimera on it, as well as a guide for everything.
Cool.
you guys will be staying. We'll be moving to a map that allows you to kind of move around on it as well. So you don't need to keep the thing open, but if you do need to take a look at it at any point, that's there. The 14, where number 14 is right in the middle, those are your cabins, and you can tell me which of the ones you have been assigned. And then this, once that happens, she gives you a brief guide to where everything is in there, where the mess hall is, where the fitness facility is, where storage is, places you're allowed to go, places you're not supposed to go, and a brief brief overview of the crew as well too, at least who you'll be dealing with. She says it in such a way that tells you it's easily the least favorite part of her job. She says it in the way of that, like, the Dave may be the only one, but the like surly divorcee French Canadian stewardess on Air Canada, the one who is union, who does not give two shits, does not care what you want. That's the that is the inflection she gives you. If you she also introduces herself as Algiada Iom, and she is the security officer for the Chimera. Your captain is going to be Captain Ramim V. Ciala Corsa, a Kasathan, also from the Pact Worlds. This is repeated with each of you guys. You're checked in, and you guys all head in. Let's go over to the actual...
As I'm passing through, I transfer her an autograph, because I know she's looking for one. So.
Okay, so you sort of transfer her an autograph.
I don't even wait for a response. I just kind of wave my head, and keep walking.
That's awesome. Thank you. All right, so guys, this is the Chimera. It is a Sandoval palanquin, or palanquin, I think is the way to pronounce that, palanquin, class vessel. But for the next 6 days, this will be your home. The travel in Starfinder is there's real space travel, and there's also something called drift travel. Drift travel is kind of like the Starfinder equivalent of like hyperspace, but it is also kind of unpredictable. So what's going on here?
Sorry, I reloaded because I can't see anything.
Oh, did I put
and
on?
It is definitely not on my end now.
Yeah, no,
do you guys hold on? Are you sure you want to see things in the game today?
Well, that's true.
There you go.
Not.
Okay.
I was thinking theater of the mind all day. What do you do theater of the mind? I do that all the time.
Okay, so this is the layout. Can you see the Sandoval palanquin now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So let me
Can
put
you dig?
your tokens down here, guys, and I'm gonna smoosh them up a little bit here, make them a little smaller. Boom,
Yep.
boom.
So the ship is called the Chimera. It's a Sandoval palanquin class.
Yeah, Sandoval is one of the manufacturers of ships in the Pact Worlds, and the palanquin is the class of the vessel.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll make them a little more manageable sized tokens here, guys. So what I'd like you guys to do is tell us where you're settling in and kind of where is it you think you're headed back home. I can tell you that there's a couple things that are a little odd, like Mozo, you have a whole road crew you travel with, but you're traveling alone right now. You've sent them ahead and you're traveling alone. You normally would travel with your unit there, Dutch.
I call it a retinue, but you can call it a unit. That's fine.
Nice. Now, you guys should have control over your tokens. Why don't you go ahead and claim one of the quarters at 14. Where you guys are boarding, by the way, is at 13 here. This is one of the airlocks. And let me just quickly give you a guide. That is, Mozo, where you are, that is the mess hall.
Oh yeah, that was just me dragging it because my screen was so.
Okay,
far away.
you got it. So these will be your. Oh, great! So you guys are all staying together. The other.
I was just dragging still.
Okay.
At the bottom.
Zondo is going whale. Mozo takes his room.
I heard Mozo on the way in, and I
Yep.
want to be as far away because I need the quiet.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy this, because this is what the next 4 hours is going to be. Just you guys moving from room to room.
Excellent.
I hope you have fun
So
with
far,
it.
so good. Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
All right. So other places you need to know about. Let's see here. The places that you are told that you should not be going unless accompanied by a crew member is engineering in 17. Anywhere that is a 5, that is a ladder that will go all the way up through all of the levels. The top level, upper deck, middle deck, lower deck. Anything that is a 4 is a ladder that only goes one level, from the upper deck down to the lower deck. Upper deck is mostly the crew quarters and the bridge. Unless you have some reason or you're accompanied by a crew member, you should have no reason to go to the upper deck. Lower deck, there is a storage area down there. The let's see here. Yes, so 17 is mostly the engineering area here. You are more than welcome to use 11 is the galley. The gym is in 10. Dining hall at 12. Your chef, who is on board, and you see a picture of him as well too. You're able to call up a full roster of the entire crew. Is an android named Song. This is Song. You can insert your Paprikash joke in there if you want, having the android making food. The first mate is Lozu Pahir. The captain is, again, Captain Ramim V. Siala Corso, a Kasathan, another species with more than 2 arms. They have 4 arms. Your pilot is a Yasaki, a rat man named Grath Matek. And your chief engineer is a Mariquai named Kiev Cadens. And that's Kiev. The Mariquai are a very unusual species that has, I believe it's 5 different genders. So they are a very unusual species as far as the gender makeup makes. Let's see here. And then you're also made aware of who the other guests are, I suppose. Although the thing you're aware of is that guests are encouraged to be polite to each other, but also to respect each other's privacy should they wish to travel in peace. There is another Vesk named Trostanek. There is a hobgoblin named Jinchiroga. She is accompanied, of course, by a small retinue of one of the worst scourges of the Pact Worlds, near space or beyond. That is, of course, the space goblins. And someone who you met in line, Professor Brodent Benjamin. So that is the crew. And what I could do is give you guys, I'll put down tokens for the, now that you guys have chosen your quarters, I'll put the quarters occupied by your fellow travelers. And where are they here? Where are they here? Trostanek. Now, let's get some dice rolling, too. Zeta, would you kindly give me a culture check, please? And you can get +5 to that.
All right. Culture. It didn't prompt for a modifier, so 23.
23. So as you're kind of getting on, you know, and you're getting in line, there's something about that Vesk that is quite familiar. And it's not until you're getting yourself, you know, everyone's going in and selecting or getting to the quarters that have been assigned to them, that you realize you know where you know him from. Trostanek is a notorious Vesk bounty hunter. Let's see here. Does anyone have training in culture? Actual points in culture.
I do. I do have some ranks in culture.
Okay, anyone who's got points in culture, you can go ahead and make a check.
Ignore that profession thing. I'm entering something. I'll tell you about it in a second.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you got it. I'm trying to find the illustrations that I need here.
Oh, Mozo.
How'd you do, Mozo?
Did really well.
Oh yes, absolutely. I'm the most cultured in the group.
Nice. Outstanding. What did you roll?
As high as I could.
Oh, sorry, I missed.
Nat 20.
A nat 20?
It was magnificent roll.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mozo, there's something about the professor, the old human guy, that it strikes you as something you know about this guy, and it hits you. This guy is an archaeologist. He's a fairly famed archaeologist as well too, amongst the Pact Worlds. So with a nat 20, I think you may have actually met him before. He doesn't act like he remembers you, at least.
People do that. They pretend that they don't know.
Yeah. They're starstruck, no doubt. All right. So, you guys get yourself into your quarters. What do we see as you guys are making yourselves comfortable? Let's get a sense of who these characters are. Mozo, what do we see in your quarters?
Mozo is sitting back, relaxing, quietly taking everything in, examining people very subtly.
Okay.
Looks like he's reading a book.
Okay, so you sit
and
back.
playing cards.
All right, so he's relaxing. What about Zeta 5? What do we see him doing in his room?
He's probably similar sort of setup, except he's actually reading a book instead of just pretending. He's got something pulled up that he's scrolling through, or however you read in this
It's
far
like
future version.
You got kind of like, imagine like a slightly more advanced version of a smartphone. That's your comm unit.
Yeah, so he's probably not fully lying down, but just sitting at the. It looks like there's a sort of desk.
Yep.
At the side, and so sitting at the desk reading something. Door closed to make it clear to anyone that he's Hopefully that's enough to tell people to not disturb him, but who knows with this crew.
Okay. Dutch, what are you doing to get settled in?
Well, Dutch is gonna go in. I guess he's gonna take off his armor, go through clean it, then go to look at his weapons, make sure they're all in order, clean them. I guess he has his light reaction cannon, right?
Yeah.
He has it. They didn't take it away, which is odd. I guess he definitely looks at more scrutiny okay.
What I say is, like, it wouldn't be unusual for them. Like, you'd certainly be allowed to travel with that stuff. You may get questions if you're trying to like walk around Absalom Station with it, but
yeah, sure. So I guess he finds it odd because you had said that usually I travel with a crew, and then the only person who has like a retinue is a hobgoblin. So he might look at the scrutiny with that, but won't.
Yeah.
More concerned with getting everything unpacked and making sure it's all working, which is his routine.
Yeah.
And then he will do some workout here in the room, push-ups, sit-ups, whatever, until he can it's time to maybe head to the gym.
Sure. And what about Zondo?
Zondo basically has cleared whatever was in the room to the edges, so that it's basically an empty space in the middle as much as he can do that. And he carries chalk with him, and he draws some symbols onto the flooring, the deck. And they're relatively intricate. It's sort of like, a combination of like a mandala and like a zodiac, kind of star signs, but like in these cool patterns. And it takes him a little while to do it, and he uses different colored chalk. And he sort of sits in the middle of it, kind of, in lotus position. And he's just opening his mind up to the great Akashic record. Okay. And one of the things that happens when he does that is that he's able to gain some insight in a profession skill of my choice, which is going to be psychologist would be the profession.
Okay, interesting. All right.
Yeah. So considering I'm with all these people that I don't know, I just want to have my wits about me and measure these people up in a bit.
Absolutely. So with the last, we're seeing Zondo said, or probably our last shot before we transition to the next scene is a over the head shot that shows him in the center of this elaborate thing he's drawn. We briefly see each of the characters as well too. Dutch doing his his chin ups or push ups or whatever. Zeta carefully reading, and Mozo kicking back. A drink in one hand, another drink in another hand, book in one hand, one other hand behind his head, and then the other one scritching his belly. And you hear a voice come over the intercom that comes into each of your cabins and presumably into all of them as well, too. Welcome aboard the Chimera. This is your captain, Ramim Visiala Corsen speaking, and it'll be my pleasure to ferry you through the drift. We've just finished making our astrogation calculations here on the bridge, and it looks like it'll take us the next 5 days to reach our destination at Absalon Station, center of the Packed World System. In the meantime, make yourselves at home. If you need any assistance, don't hesitate to ask any of our friendly crew members. Meals are served at the times listed in the dining hall, but if you're looking for a snack, I'm sure our cook, Song, will be happy to accommodate you. And it cuts out. You guys then hear the hum the engines grow a little louder, and then a slight jerk as the ship pulls off, and you can feel the thump that you are all familiar with as the vessel drops into the drift. And the drift, just a very quick thing, the reason that it takes a different length of time is because you're effectively shunting into another dimension that can only be accessed by technology. It's an exception to most of the other planes. You can't use magic to get there. So it drifts in there, but because of the variance of things moving around and how easy it is to navigate to the destination, it takes a varied length of time to get anywhere. So 5 days is it's almost as long as it could possibly take, but maybe not as bad as it could, maybe not as bad as it could be. So guys, tell me about what you would be doing for your first day then. It'll be a couple of hours before the meal hall is open. The gym is of course open, Dutch, if that's what you want to hit.
I think Dutch will hit the gym. He heard the mention of snacks. Maybe there's a good juice bar at the cafe or whatever.
Okay. What about the rest of you guys?
He's gonna head to the gym.
Okay. So you head out and strip down to your trunks or whatever. You're heading down to the gym. What is everyone else getting up to?
I meditate for a while, and then I'm going to decide where I'm going to end. I think I'm going to wander through the halls, actually. Just feeling the presence of the ship.
Okay. And Zeta?
Did we lose Arlen?
Oh, Arlen might be muted. Arlen?
Sorry, I muted to sneeze a minute ago and then forgot about it. Seems like the gym might be a good place to start off. Try to stay limber, and there's not a whole lot to do. So,
yep, they have a wide selection of media and such. Every time you get into a new system or you arrive in a new world, there's usually a default kind of download thing that goes on. Same thing for most locations. So while you will not have access to the infosphere while you're in drift travel, you should have access to some other stuff here. Mozo, what are you up to?
Well, I normally catalog with my retinue everything that I do. So since they're not here to do that for me, I will have to do it myself. And I think that's a good time for me to pull out my comm and maybe do my first vlog of the day and make sure that everybody knows exactly what's happening on our ship. Because, it's crucial to keep in touch with my fan base.
Absolutely. Okay. So you guys head over. You can see as well too. There are gunner stations on here because travel in the drift can sometimes run across unfortunate things. One of the aspects of drift travel is that when you shift into the drift, you generally bring a little bit of where you are with you. And if you're coming in from other planes, that means you could be bringing in a little chunk of the Seven Hells, a little chunk of the Shadow Dimension, things like that. So drift travel can be a little unpredictable, and of course pirates are always a problem. So Mozo is working on his thing. You can't go into the dining hall just yet, Mozo, unfortunately.
Close. So I was hoping to sit and have it.
Okay.
Have a little better.
So Mozo, maybe you went down to go check that, and that's when you see Dutch and Zeta making their way down to the gym. You guys, of course, have not met each other before, so you pass by. You guys can decide for yourselves whether whether you would be a fan of Mozo or not. He certainly has lots of vids that you can access and watch of his amazing performances. And Dutch, you're heading to the gym as well, I guess?
Yes,
Okay.
he's heading.
This is as close as I get to the gym. I don't need to work out.
You look this good naturally. Okay. So, you guys, Zeta and Dutch, you seem to be the only two who are working out in the gym for it too. So, are you the type of characters who would make small talk, or you kind of just keep to yourself when, when you're in the gym?
I have a question. So is it, or do we feel like a little confused? Is this like a normal protocol?
Anything that you think of that's strange about this situation, your mind automatically is like, but this is because of why, If you think for it, like, you don't find it weird that you're traveling on your own, neither does Mozo. You can think of a reason for why you're not. You're traveling with, they went ahead of you. You had something you had to deal with on Liberty Station. You can't, God, what was it? That's probably not important anyway. But you were on there for something. You're just falling behind, right? Same thing with Mozo. Zeta, likewise, too. You were... anytime you try and dwell too much on what you were out there in Liberty Station for, why you were in near space, your mind kind of is like, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, it can't be important. So the two of you are in there. Dutch and Zeta, while you guys are making use of the extra...
Well, I think Dutch does make small talk. He says, how's it going? I'm going to do some heavy lifting here. I might need to spot.
Okay, and this vests are pretty big anyway. They are certainly taller than humans. This vest in particular seems even bigger than usual. You're certainly no slouch as far as androids go, but he's a big boy.
Yeah, so
I do have a question also, Kevin. What's the? I look at the. We don't. I guess normally we wouldn't wear our heavy armor around, although it is also doubles as a vac suit, just in case.
It doubles as a vac suit, so that would be a reason.
Is there a protocol?
You wouldn't work out in it, probably, because that's just that wouldn't make sense. But otherwise, wearing it around, that's just prudent. You never know what might happen, and the Pact Worlds is a much more cosmopolitan place than, say, like a fantasy setting, but space goblins are just assholes. They are often pirates. They will often just try and get away with shit, and hobgoblins, they're not like automatic attacked by the town, kind of thing as you'd see in a fantasy game, but if he's traveling with space goblins, like, they are just, by their nature, just troublemakers. So it wouldn't be untoward to carry your weaponry with you, at least some, maybe not the reaction cannon, because that's.
I take the firing pin and all that, just in case, and.
Yeah.
And I definitely would want to take my Doshko, just in case it's a place to, like, spar or work out.
Yeah, sure. So you bring your, yep. So you've got that with you. Otherwise, no, you don't need to worry about. And if for some of you guys, your armor is really just it's your clothes. You know, I think Zeta, Mozo, for sure, what you're wearing is just station wear. It's comfortable clothes. They can look however you want. Dutch's combat armor is a little more elaborate, but
yeah, it says Golem Forged plate armor. That seems pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's pretty heavy armor, but it would not be unusual. What else are you gonna wear? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I can walk around with just my muscle shirt. You know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. Is the galley over here, or is it? All right. So then, Zeta, Dutch seemed like he was trying to make some small talk with you. What do you have to say?
Yeah, Zeta will be polite, but he's not really going to like expand upon anything. Like if Dutch asks him for a spot, he'll accept and then help him out. But he's not gonna like ask any questions back or anything like that. And he's probably going to. I'm picturing he's gonna do like some kind of like calisthenic kind of limbering up stuff, and then he has his. I don't know what sort of exercises you do for like kinjitsu, but I imagine that it involves moving around with a sword. So I think Zeta 5 is going to do something like that, kind of practice his.
Yeah, and actually you find in here too. So in here there are the rec area contains workout machines next to free weights along the forward wall. Small pools with retractable covers that can be used for current swimming or as a hot tub. To the port, and an open padded area for floor work or sparring in the aft. The sparring mats are fraying at the corners, revealing the foam within. Hooks along the walls hold several plastic batons and staves, each wrapped with black tape and cushions, and part of the forward and the aft walls are mirrored. You can also see, why don't Dutch and Zeta, give me perception checks, will you? Okay. All right, so, and Dutch, you're looking over at the wall, having brought your Doshko in here. There are scuffs against the back wall that would suggest that this is sort of, someone's been practicing here with weaponry. If you were to guess the security officer, that would not be unusual for her to be training somewhere in, in here. So this is a place you can practice, and same thing with you, Zeta. If you guys both walk in, you've got your dueling sword with you, Zeta, and you got your Doshko with you, Dutch. Doshko is like a big, imagine like a halberd, but with like fiery, welding torches that come out of it.
Yeah. Well, I see Zeta 5.
Done right, yeah.
If I see Zeta 5 practicing, I say, hey, maybe we should spa after my workout.
Sure, why not?
Okay. So you guys can tell us how that goes if you like, or do you want to roll through?
You can go to the other people. It could be for flavor. I'm just trying to know other people because Dutch is usually with a group of, heavy booze guzzling mercenaries, and he's kind of bored, I guess.
Well, I think you can tell as well too. Seeing what Zeta 5 is carrying, there's a mark on the hilt of the sword that looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
I do have I don't have culture trained, but I have this thing called Mercenary Knowledge. I should. Yeah,
I'll make the difficulties be a little higher, but I'll let you use that instead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Mercenary Knowledge, lowers the DC by 5.
Yeah. I don't know why they don't just call it +5. It's
Yeah.
Okay, so,
right, so
make your roll, add +5 to it, and then we'll compare that.
Okay.
Let's see here.
15.
So 15. The Knights of Galerion are certainly well known enough. So the nutshell version of their military organization with strong ties to the Pack World, the Church of Yomadai, who's like a goddess of good and the sun and whatever. Or Serenray is the goddess of the sun. Yomadai is just kind of like the generic good god or goddess in the setting. Though worship of Yomadai is not a requirement for membership, and some members even worship different gods, all knights take sacred vows to uphold the Code of the Inheritor, a 10-part oath requiring courage, fair treatment of prisoners, honor, and temperance in action. and they are also instructed to regularly study the Acts of Yomadai, the goddess's holy text. The Knights of Galerion are dedicated to promoting justice and righteousness in all forms, spreading their goddess-granted understanding of morality throughout the Pact Worlds. So you can decide how sort of Dutch would respond to that. What it definitely tells you is that Zeta 5 is certainly, you know, is no slouch. This is not. This is someone who's a trained combatant. Zeta 5, do you have any other markings with you? Like, would you wear anything else that would make it clear you're part of the Knights of Galerion?
Probably not. I'm picturing the clothing, the second skin armor is pretty plain and nondescript and almost it's got that sort of Spartan quality to it. And he's got I like the cloak in the illustration, but I think he left that in his quarters.
Okay.
Because that's a little ostentatious for walking around the decks of the ship that you're going to be traveling on for a while. So probably just the sword, and then maybe even but he might say something, right? Like offer up a prayer to Yomadai, kind of kneel down and do some sort of ritual or prayer or something before beginning his practice, and that would make it clear.
Okay.
To
what does Dutch make of that?
I think Dutch would raise an eyebrow. I mean, I'm looking at Vesk deities, and they worship a deity who's pretty grim,
Yeah.
more like a war god.
Yeah.
Supposed to. But,
Scaly space crom is basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah, it's kind of like space.
Yeah. Venturoga, is that his name?
No, it's called. It's just over here on the page. It's called Demoratosh.
Demoratosh, right? Yeah, yeah.
It's Demoratosh the Conqueror.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess Dutch would probably raise an eyebrow, but he wouldn't not. He would. They seem like a martial organization, so he's cool with that.
Sure.
Maybe more than cool with that. And he would offer. He goes, I have my armor strapped because those goblins everywhere. That's like a way of saying watch out for goblins. But
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, Mozo, what are you? Okay, Dave, you want to read us your first day of vlog?
So Mozo's been wandering the hallways, and he's kind of like looking into the rooms. Tried the galley, went by the gym twice. He's like, vlog 1. First day without the retinue, surrounded by large, sweaty worker types who insist on grunting and swinging large, sharp things. The galley isn't open all day, and I've been keen to see if Song sings while they cook, and if they can make any Skittermander specialties. Haven't seen the one who held up the line yet, or the archaeology professor that I recognize. They haven't been available for interview, though I imagine they want autographs when they're done getting their bearings.
Okay, nice. So that is logged, and you are now ready to figure out the next thing to kind of keep yourself occupied. Zondo,
vlog 2, I guess. We'll have to just do another one. There's nothing else to do on this place.
you passed maybe one or two of the crew members, probably Vi, the Riforian, or the Mariquai, or Kivin, not Vi. The Mariquai on working his way down, and he kind of nods to you, hello, and you may pass Lozu at one point as well to the first mate as she's working.
When Kai goes by, Mozo gives him like 4 winged guns.
Okay, he kind of nods to you and gets back to work. He doesn't. His multifaceted eyes doesn't really betray any reaction or whatnot. When you are Zondo, would you give me a mysticism check, please? So for those guys, mysticism is sort of the catch-all, like, arcana, religion, whatever else stuff thing. It's also what you use when you're using detect magic. It's kind of a cool catch-all skill.
Yes, and so what I realized that I get an additional +1 to mysticism, and on top of the one we already talked about.
Okay.
They're 2 different types. So I thought they were the same type, but they're not. So I get 1 from my theme and 1 from my class.
Nice.
But I cannot enter it. It won't give me the wizard no matter what I do. So that's what I've been clicking on. So it'll be 1 more than what I roll.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll try and fix that during our break.
So
Holy shit, 27, amazing. So you are in the middle of this and you're drifting again, and you, what is it like when you drift into the Akashic memory?
So I'm still, have an awareness of the worlds around me, but it's more like everything is in my peripheral view.
Yeah.
So it kind of sort of almost blurs out, but I have a sense of it. But my mind suddenly starts to travel into like an almost astral, it's kind of like looks like space almost. I have like an astral form, and I suddenly will find myself in a room or a chamber, and it will coalesce into what feels real to me.
Okay.
So wherever I'm supposed to be, that I feel like I'm being sent, I suddenly find myself there, and it could be like an ancient library, and I have to look for the right. I get drawn to a certain scroll or book or something, and I pick it out, and that's how I read the record.
Okay. So you drift away, and where you find yourself is in your cell back at the Berthaden monastery. And you can picture sort of what that's like, but however it is normally, something feels off, like someone has been here. You sort of are looking around. The temperature's not quite right in it. It may be too hot in here. There's something just wrong, and you look up at what would be a simple, light, and it kind of like flashes or flickers, and then it suddenly is a brilliant, blinding black light, or a white light. Mm-hmm. And you find yourself just staring into it, and you can't look away, and you hear tunk, tunk feet on metal, and you know that the floor of your room is not metal, and you can hear this someone speaking. You can't quite make out the voices, and you kind of jerk out, and we see you hit the ground, and your hand goes through the chalk, smearing the mandala that you were concentrating in. And then you hear over the intercom this dong, and you hear a different voice saying, a woman's voice, "Dining hall will be open for the next 3 hours. Dining hall will be open for the next 3 hours." And it goes out.
I kind of shake my head a bit to kind of clear the cobwebs from the journey. And did that white light that I just saw remind me of the one I saw right before I boarded?
What white light?
We saw that bright white light suddenly, and then I woke here.
What?
No?
What are you talking about? What white light did you see?
I don't know.
I don't remember mentioning a white light.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. So I have this experience, but nothing that comes to me from the universal mind ever frightens me. But I do find it to be odd, and that I've basically been given a clue that there's something going on that I must figure out.
Yeah.
Now I'll have to find my way, and obviously, it was not a coincidence that message came over this intercom. So I must proceed directly.
Okay.
To find something to eat.
Okay. So you make your way out, and I think that at the same time, Mozo, God, you've been hungry since you got on board this thing.
I've been hungry for ever.
Okay. So I think you and Zondo sort of step out of your quarters at around the same time. Zeta and Dutch, this is after you guys have had an opportunity to do a little bit of sparring. What do you think the impressions are that you guys have drawn from each other?
I think for Dutch, even though he's big, Zeta would probably pick up that Dutch is quicker on his feet, and his fighting style, though, can lead to, that Zeta could exploit, depending on his fighting style, is aggression and rapid movement. Is kind of characterized.
Okay.
He has the blitz fighting style, so.
Okay. And Zeta, what's the impression that Dutch draws from you?
I think it's almost a kind of not a complete polar opposite, but a very different sense to Zeta. He's not agile and like a dancer fighter, he kind of plants his feet still and moves with his kind of arms and his shoulders a whole lot more to deflect anything and to stand his ground. So he's got a kind of, it's an unorthodox style, but it's sort of what he favors, without a lot of footwork and without a lot of that. And Dutch probably has a sense that, like, you know, if you could smash through, he could probably, you know, knock him off balance relatively easily. But as long as Zeta's kind of on his feet and steady, he's in a pretty good position in terms of his fighting abilities.
Okay. So you guys... Oh, go ahead.
Dutch is probably characterized by like pounces and leaps, and you know, very predator-like.
Yeah. Okay. So then, guys, what happens at? I guess since you've heard that the galley is open, you guys have worked up quite a appetite and probably more importantly a thirst. The galley is open. You may be able to get some beer or something else to satisfy your thirst.
Time for some beer. I do bow to Zeta 5, though. I recall that Aomide is an honorable battle, so Doromatesh the Conqueror respects that. So.
Okay. So, then, Zeta, will you be joining him for a drink?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Not a lot else to do.
So you guys walk in, and we see that, Mozo, you're sitting all by yourself. Zondo by yourself as well?
Yep.
Okay. So you take your seat, and Song, the android who is there, he seems to be working in the kitchen, so you're in the galley, I should say, and you... he seems to be a little oblivious to what's happening in the mess hall, or in the dining hall. And if you want to see what the dining hall looks like, guys...
So...
This is sort of what you can picture.
Dutch is like, is there table service here or self-serve?
This is cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Oh, that's what that thing is in the middle?
Yeah.
That skylight?
Yeah, skylight for it. Starlight, I guess, technically. So as you guys make your way in, there are some other, you're taking your seats, there are other guests who are making their way in. Those include Jinchiroga, the hobgoblin, and she is accompanied by, is it all three of her space goblins? And I can't tell you how happy it makes me that they actually called them space goblins in it. It's so fantastic.
Totally.
Let's see here. Yes. Oh, she's not here yet. Forgive me. So she's not there, but however, who is there when the last of you guys arrive? I think Dutch and Zeta 5, you guys are probably the last one. Kiv Cadence and Professor Benjamin are both in here. So, and they're sitting, let's say, at this table right over here. I'll put him. And both of them are quite pleasant to you guys as you come in. Hello. Kiv asks, as Mozo and Zondo, knowing that you guys are kind of traveling on your own, Kiv will ask you, have you enjoyed the journey thus far? First time from Liberty Station?
Yes, wonderful hallways.
Excellent. Your quarters are satisfactory?
Yes, they're very nice. I'm sure the bed will be suitably comfortable for 5 days. Yes. Yeah.
And you, Mr. Sakari?
Yes. Everything is as it should be.
And the professor kind of leans in and says, forgive me, are you Bethaden? You're a dreamer, are you not?
I am. You are correct.
Fascinating. I've heard of your kind. I've never met one before. Your order is most interesting. And you see, he's playing away with some kind of thing. It's like a cube of some kind that has like a glass sides to it, and he's moving it around. And and there's little things, and it's about a foot maybe on its side, and he's gesturing with it and kind of to you.
What is this that you carry with you?
This is... Please, come see. And he invites you to come and join him and Kiev. And Zeta 5 and Dutch, you are both sitting down. Find your seat, sit down, and the Song kind of calls out, I'll be with you in a moment. Yeah, so you sit down, and what this is it's got a couple of like transparent aluminum panels set within it. And he says, I was just explaining to Kiev, the gentleman who sold this to me called it a shrinking box. And it's a feat of engineering that I was sure that Kiev would be interested in seeing, but perhaps you would as well, Zondo. Or Mr. Sakari, or Brother Zondo. I'm not quite familiar with your order.
You may call me whatever you wish.
Wonderful. Whatever you wish. This is a... No, I'm kidding.
That would seem to be in character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This, you see, and he holds it up to you. It works according to the same principles as a null space chamber, but for living creatures. Look. And he gestures at the aluminum things, and you can see in there, he says, he told me he put 4 asteroid lice inside, and as I'm sure you're aware, those outer space vermin are almost as big as a Yosaki, and he kind of gestures with it wildly. And Kiev says, hey, Professor, and he grabs it, and I was telling the professor that, I don't know how to tell him this, but he was scammed. Look, there's just tiny bugs in there. And if you look down at this, Zondo, you can go ahead and give me a life sciences check if you want. This is not a terribly hard thing. Anyone else who's in here who is listening into this conversation, go ahead and if you can give me a life sciences check as well too. Zondo, you for sure know. Yeah, like these things are asteroid louse are like that, and what's in there is these tiny little specks, and you've never heard of this null, like a shrinking box before. So
Yeah.
that seems.
Do you mind if I connect to this device through the record?
Of course, you see, Kiev, this is nonsense. He was a quite reputable salesman. I'm sure that, and he grabs it from Kiev, but in his enthusiasm, he sort of like tosses it, falls back, hits the ground, and it turns out that they don't make transparent aluminum like they used to, and it cracks open. The good side is that the professor got his money's worth. This was indeed a shrinking box.
I thought so.
The downside is there are now 4 fully grown asteroid lice that are in the chamber here. And
Fantastic.
Zondo, you know that these things feed. Let me show you what the asteroid lice look like, guys.
Huh. I've never seen one up close before.
These things, you're about to see one up a little closer too. These things love to feed on living flesh if they can. They normally subsist on the whatever minerals and such they can get from the ring. You rolled well enough too, Zondo, that you know that these things have the reason the way they're able to sort of eat through stuff quite so effectively is because they have like acidic kind of like salivary glands in them, and when they die, that sort of breaks down very quickly on it, so it leaves kind of a acidic hole. So guys, we're not going to do this really. We're going to, because the maps are kind of tight in here, each of the squares is 10 feet. Let's just do this theater of the mind. So, let me find some space for you guys here. Your characters, where we got here? Where we got? I'm going to put your tokens near the bottom here. Boom. Nice big ones for you to mess around with again. And then I'm just going to set up 4 space louse. Oop, come here, you. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Kev, are you getting your money's worth here? I'm trying to remember if these things are in.
Oh, there could be.
Let's see here. I think they're in one of the. Let's see here. No, that's asteroid lice. Let me check here. I thought they're in one of the. Maybe they're in one of the later ones. Oh, god damn it. Nope, I'll have to find it some other time. All right, so 4 asteroid lice are loose in here, and they are hungry. So, guys, would you kindly, everyone click on your token, and then let me open up the old initiative tracker here. Go ahead and click on initiative, please. And let me get 1 second here.
Mozo.
Okay. Mozo, nicely done. Okay, let's see here. And put hit points. Now, unlike you, this game, and forgive me if I'm repeating stuff that some of you guys already know, but this game does not, it distinguishes or builds adversaries differently than characters. So they only have, adversaries only have 1 bar. They don't have stamina and hit points. Okay. Here we go. Rawr, rawr. Rawr. You can picture these things are right in the middle. Each of you are sort of at your table right now. Let's start. Let's roll initiative for these guys. Come on, Space Louse. Don't let us down. Okay. There we go. Do we have something exciting for you guys here? Let's put this down a bit here. And there we go. All right. So those go out. The professor shrieks, "Ah!" and is not pleased to see these things go out. It seems that no one else in here is going to be dealing with these. All right. Let me add a turn for the Space Louse. Boom. And guys, I don't want you to feel overconfident with this, but I rolled a 9. So, Mozo, you were up first. One of them is...
Well then, it's time for me to show some magnificence, and I will just call upon the powers of the Technomancer. See all of his hands all moving in sync.
Yep.
And he's going to use magic missile.
Nice. Now, are you spending a full round to cast 3 magic missiles, or are you moving and casting 2?
I will move and cast 2.
Okay.
Do I just click on the...
Nope, it's actually, it rolls it for you. So you've done 8 points of damage to one of them. What do your magic missiles look like?
Accidentally clicked down twice. Sorry.
That's good.
They are little diamond-shaped things that glow in different directions. They kind of look like spotlights. But
Go off, of course.
I don't know why, but they look like little spotlights, and then they fly away. They swirl around me a little bit, shooting light, and then...
Nice. Okay. Dutch, you were up next. What are you doing?
Dutch is like, yes, we have to kill our own dinner, and he's leaped. Can you draw a weapon and...
If you have good questions, so as long as you've got a base attack bonus of +1 or greater, you can draw a weapon as part of your move action. So it really should be only you that can do that right now.
Okay, so he's going to... Right, so he's going to draw his survival knife as he leaps out towards one to try to stab it.
Okay, go ahead. So you leap forward. Yeah! Go ahead and make your attack roll. Oh, maybe I should look at the... Casey, that is a solid hit. And this thing kind of hisses, and there's like acidic blood that comes out of it.
Acid for blood?
Yes. How inventive, right? Zondo Sicario, what are you doing?
So they suddenly pop out, but I do not, I'm not startled. I don't jump back or anything. But I see one coming right at me, like skittering across the table at me. And I just flick my eye over to the nearest set of utensils and then back to the creature. And they go flying with a telekinetic projectile.
Nice. That's a solid hit. Okay, a fork and a spoon wedge themselves into this thing, and there's a spray of acidic blood again, and this thing hisses. Zeta, what are you doing, Zeta 5?
All right, so Zeta stands up and shing draws his sword and makes a sort of duelist salute at the one that's nearest to him.
Nice.
And then that's all he can do because he can't draw his weapon and attack at the same turn.
All right, so then next up is the Space Lice. Space Lice goes towards each of you. There's one for each of you. What a surprise. Oh my goodness. All right, so the let's see here, this is going to be an attack against KAC. So your kinetic armor class. First, this one is going to try and bite, and I'll roll the dice for damage at the same time, so I'm not wasting time. First one is against Mozo. This is against your KAC. I nat 20'd. I am so sorry.
Jeez.
Cheapers. So then, you take...
Are you using those same dice from this morning?
I am.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So you take that is 5. You take 5 points of damage, and that goes from your stamina, from your blue bar. So it leaps onto you and it's kind of and trying to bite at you. You can picture the stamina is not just like we do with fatigue in some other games. It's you kind of getting out of the way. You're not actually taking an injury just yet. Zeta 5 against you, a 13 KAC.
That hits.
You take 5 points of damage as well.
All right.
That's just clawing at you. Against...
Actually, oh wait, can I only do that for hit points or just for stamina?
I think it's if you take damage, full stop. Take a look at
yeah, let me read it.
A
foe deals damage to you. So yeah, he's gonna share my pain, I think.
Nice. So you blow
and I'm
one
gonna spend a resolve point to only take 4 damage and make him take 1.
Okay. What is it? What does your share pain look like?
So I think it's there's a sort of sense this thing kind of comes up at me and I sort of like lean out of the way and kind of close my fist, and there's a sort of almost like a glow around it, and then there's a sort of matching glow on the thing, and it sort of does
nice
sort of like reaction.
All right, against Dutch. Let's see here. That is a 22 I hit. So yeah, a little bit. All right, so you take 3 points of damage, Dutch, and then Zondo. That is a 17 against. No, that's a 22 against you. 4 points of damage.
Okay.
All right. Next up is Mozo. What are you doing, Mozo?
I think we maybe put a little more distance between me and this snapping jaws. So
Okay.
I will have to move away.
So then I will get an attack of opportunity on you if you're moving.
Can I move in some kind of defensive manner and
You
put
could. So one option you could do is you can take a full action to withdraw. That lets you move up to double your movement, and the first square you move away from, you don't take attacks of opportunity.
Well, I think that's a good idea, and I think I will take the withdrawal action and put myself maybe across the room and somewhere where one of those big hulking brutes that was swinging sharp things can get in the way.
So you were sitting in one of the chairs as well too. Maybe as this thing was coming in, you hopped up, you cast your magic. It leaps up on you and kind of jumps at you on the table. You push the table over and skitter back because you're a skittermander. And then you've got yourself on the far side of the room. And you can see the other 3 diners are beset by space louse as well. Dutch, what are you doing?
I'm going to full attack with my survival knife.
Nice.
Saying I don't want to claw or bite because that might hurt myself.
Mm-hmm.
And what do I get?
Nice. A 17. So the first one is a solid hit. First one, this is a kill strike on the space louse. What does it look like?
I go, stick around.
Outstanding. All right, so the Space Louse is... I know, I'm telling him.
Flick it
it's
off.
coming.
Flick it
All
off.
right. And then let's see here. So you can see it beginning to sizzle. There's steam coming off this thing as the acid is beginning to, even as it falls, eat through the carcass. Next up is Zondo Sakari.
I'm disappointed that this is not going to be in the stew pot then.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let's eat this. Zondo's like, about that. How spicy do you like your food? Zondo, what do you do?
This time I look around and I spot a mug full of beer.
Yep.
And I'm gonna send it flying at this creature again.
Okay. Solid hit.
Yeah.
Really not great damage.
Not my beer.
Yeah. Dutch goes to grab it and across the room. All right, hey you. Hey, where are you? We have Anna role playing as the Space Louse. Oh,
Nice.
honey, can you please stop? Can you hear the sounds of the Space Louse?
Yeah.
Realistic. Yep.
Very.
He totally intended that. Zeta 5, what are you doing?
I think I'm also going to full attack and make 2 swings with the tactical dueling sword.
Nice. Here it comes.
All
right.
right. 12.
The first one is a miss. The second one is a solid hit. And you've cut a deep furrow in this thing's... what do I do here?
I kind of swing once across to kind of get it to back up so it's in the right position so that I can make a wicked strike on the second return blow.
Nice. All right. And yeah, this thing skitters back again. All right. So we got one that's got a distance between you and please don't lick the box. All right. Thank you.
No.
Thank you for helping.
Hopefully they're acid resistant.
Yes, hello. All right. Okay, so we got, let's see here. We first on Mozo. This one kind of like turns around. It's going to have to spend its whole round charging you across the distance. But, I think it suffers a penalty to its, gets a +1 to hit. But it takes minus... after moving, you make a single attack roll, -2 penalty to the attack roll, -2 to AC until the start of your next turn. All right, so it gets -2 to hit you, right across, leaps up. You didn't think this thing could jump so high. Apparently, skittermanders are a delicacy. That is a 21 against you, so I think that's a hit. But it's only 2 points of damage, though. Zeta, this thing is now actually going to try and grab you. What is your KAC +8?
My KAC +8 is a 19.
19, okay. So it needs a 19. No, so I rolled a 12 in total. It leaps forward, and because it was trying to get a hold of you with all of its things, God knows what it planned to do once it got hold of you. You managed to keep it off. Maybe you hit it with the pommel of your sword.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zondo, this thing dripping in beer, turns to you. 21.
Yeah, man.
That is 4 points of damage. Has it drawn blood now?
How? Somehow I lost more damage. Took more damage. I'm down to 1 out of 8. Somehow somebody must have clicked on mine when they took damage.
Oh, that may have been me actually.
I was at 4.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that was me. I somehow clicked on the wrong guy.
Okay, so I just take 4 more.
You just took 4 more. That's correct.
Okay, so I'm at 0. It's damage.
Okay, so this thing once again is skittering across. You're kind of keeping it at a distance with, like a plate's pushed up in front of it, and then another glass in front of it. That is it for the Space Louse. Mozo, what are you doing?
I'm trying to figure out how many spells I have. I have a list.
3 per day, and then you can use your cantrips as many times as you like.
Well then, 3 per day. Sounds like the spotlights are on me.
Nice.
And another magic missile.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to see
Only
if...
press once this
I don't
time.
think it draws attacks of opportunity, but let me just double check. Attack 248, 249. For those listening at home, forgive me, it's been a long time since I've run Starfinder, so You have to forgive me for looking up one or two things. Let's see here. Yes, when the opponent in your space casts a spell, it can make an attack of opportunity on you. So you would have known that. Is that what you're still planning on doing?
No, that would be bad because I'm already pretty wounded or exhausted maybe.
Okay.
From dodging. And you know what? Dutch and Zayt just chilled there. So you know what? Let's withdraw right past them. Hey guys, how's it going? There's a big louse.
So you withdraw again. Mozo goes racing past Dutch. You know. Okay, then speaking of Dutch, what are you doing?
You can Zeta 5 killed his too, right?
Nope.
No, I just damaged mine.
All right. Well, I think you got a handle on this. You're a swordsman that beats Bard. So Dutch is going to, he's going to throw his dagger, his survival knife, at the one that the Skittermander is running from.
Mozo?
And then draw and activate his Doshko to wait for that other one, I guess.
Okay. Sure.
However that works.
Go ahead, make your attack roll with your knife. So you're using your dex, I guess, with throwing.
Yeah. So this will be a -2 then.
-2. Okay. Go ahead. Come on.
I did
go.
Got a two-step process. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's
solid hit. That's enough to kill it. What does it look like?
I almost say stick around again, but I already used that in this movie. You stay there.
You got the point.
There we go. You got the point. Or yeah.
All right. Then, Zondo, what are you doing?
I am withdrawing. So, seeing that this thing is potentially lethal to me, I will head over to the very corner here.
Okay. So you race up and you run over to where? Are you standing near where Mozo is?
Yeah, I guess I'll join the collective.
Okay. So behind Dutch.
Yeah.
Dutch activates this massive Doshko, and he's got a Skittermander, and he's got now a Mystic behind him as well too. Zeta, what are you doing?
Second verse, same as the first. I'm gonna swing twice to try to kill this thing.
Okay, let's go.
Oh wait, that was the
threw your sword at him.
Attack.
That is, you have let me
tell him about how valuable my sword is. And
have let me
then I try to swing at him.
This was an old joke that we used to use in our Starfinder campaign, that anytime anyone did that, they would throw their thing at them instead. That is, it's so close to hitting. You are only one off, which gives me the opportunity to remind you guys that, guys, we're playing a D20 game with me. Do you think you guys don't have Astonishing Fortune?
But
I guess we do.
You guys have 4 points of Astonishing Fortune. Do you wish to spend one, Zeta, to reroll?
Yeah, let's finish this thing off. All right, so I'll do full attack again, and we'll just take the first one.
Sounds good.
No.
Second one is the hit, of course. It's even more taunting now. Okay, so you know this thing is such strange movements. You know, there's no like dueling pattern that you can pick from this thing. All right, now. This thing, the one with Zeta, it's going to try and get in and grab you again. So I'm rolling against 19, right?
Yes.
Okay. Nope. You're able to keep it at it skitters up to you, kind of goes across, and then you boot it with your foot. It kind of goes back. It recovers. It looks like it's going to be coming right back at you with those acidic mandibles. Zondo, the one that was with you, turns, and you having withdrawn behind Dutch. Dutch, are you imposing yourself between Zondo and this thing?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I have the Doshko out. I mean, I guess I didn't have enough actions to do a right.
No problem. So you got your Doshko out. This, then, it leaps straight towards you, the big tasty reptile. But as it comes in, you're easily able to sweep your Doshko down and doof, you knock it to the side, and it kind of like has to catch its balance again. The Keeve and the Professor, incidentally, are up on the table, and both are like, trying to figure out what's going on. Mozo, you finally don't have a space
Mozo,
slice on you.
I didn't really mention it because I was reading some character stuff. But so Mozo is like, as soon as the attack starts, he goes into active log mode, and he's got like his comm is recording what's going on, and he's like commentating while he's like dodging things.
Yep.
And so now that he's got a little space between him and the space light, he's going to cast his magic missile spell. Time for some magnificence, folks. This is how you do it.
Nice. So, is that 3 or 2?
That's just 2.
2, and is that the one that's on Dutch or the one on Zeta?
The one that's on Zeta.
What's on Zeta? So Zeta, you kick this thing so it kind of skitters away, and then it kind of like looks up. Those mandibles kind of clack, and then 2 spotlights explode on this thing, killing it, leaving a steaming acidic heap. Dutch, what are you doing?
Dutch is gonna step up and do a Doshko double sweep.
Doshko, see you.
Yeah,
Okay, let's see.
works.
Oh, was I supposed to say something really witty?
Awesome.
Oh, so both.
I'll use my astonishing fortune.
Sure, yeah. Hold on. Oh yeah, it's a tactical dodge. Doesn't do energy damage yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that
reroll the
just-
first one. Here we go. Come on.
Do I still take the full attack or no full attack?
Do the full attack, and we'll keep the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, because that does the modifier.
The modifier of -5. Oh, so we slam down. These things are so
I
quick.
didn't. Okay. Oh, well.
Okay. Zondo, what are you doing?
I quickly open myself to the Akashic record of to find out what is the most vulnerable portion of this thing's mind.
Yep.
And then I target it and deliver an overload of psychic information. Here's what it looks like.
Yeah, let's see. I can't remember if there's restriction on mind thrust. Let's see here. Does it have an intelligence score? It does not.
Oh, it does?
Sorry. So you open your mind, and unfortunately, there is no mind to find.
Okay. All right.
So you would know this. You don't waste the spell.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to get it to go off.
Gotcha. Okay, so then I would instead do what I been doing previously and have a plate come flying over
Nice.
to slam into this creature.
Come on, here we go.
22 to hit.
22 is a solid hit.
4 damage.
On this, nicely done. And then it is Zeta.
All right, I'm gonna step over and swing at it. The last one.
Here we go.
Do regular attack. Oh, nice.
Critical hit. 11 points of damage. What does it look like as you
Neat.
skewer this thing?
So I think it has sort of like reared up with Zondo's plate smash, and I just come down right through and kind of bisect the main part of the body,
Okay.
and get acid blood everywhere, and then immediately start trying to clean off my sword to protect it from the acid blood.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, as this thing, could you please stop? Hey, stop. Thank you. As you are kind of shaking your sword off, you can hear finally Song comes out of the kitchen, his chef's hat on, and it looks around and goes, "What are you people doing to my kitchen? My hall?"
I just I don't even say anything. I just point to the creatures.
Okay.
Song, do you sing?
So when he looks down at the creatures, his mouth becomes a thin line.
Are the professor and Kiv still around, or
On the
did they...
table, yep, up in the corner. And he looks, shoots a look up at Kiev, and he says, "I don't know who's responsible for this, but someone better get those bugs out of here." And he says, "Throw them at the airlock, throw them in the incinerator, or whatever. I don't care. Just get them out of here." And Reeve is kind of like, "Sure, Song. Just let me get some gloves or tongs or something." And he's Song crouches back, "Hurry! I'm supposed to be serving supper in here. No one wants to eat when looking at that." So Song kind of waves his spoon angrily, little flecks of whatever it is he was cooking or coming off of it. And then Kiev kind of slinks out of the room. After a few minutes, well, I guess first off, what do you guys do? So you guys have...
I do want to see if is like the knife, survival knife, is it like acid destroyed by acid, or is it still
You
okay?
will... No, you'll be able to get it out. I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
Cool. So where did these things come from? Or Dutch would say, where did they come from?
You look over and you can see the professor is picking up the shattered remains of his shrinking box, and he says, I don't think it can be fixed. And he's trying to fit it together.
It came from a magical device this man was carrying that he dropped.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. My name is Professor Brodent Benjamin. I understand that Mozo the Magnificent. I know your name certainly does not need to be shared. I know you, and I Zeta 5, I believe, from the crew, the guest manifest. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I hear you go by Dutch. Is that right, Mr.
I'm not.
And Zondo. Zondo.
Yes, we have met.
Thank you, all of you. I don't, and he kind of holds it out. I don't suppose any of you know anything about shrink boxes, do you?
Well, I have a question for you. Why were you carrying these creatures with you?
Well, I thought they were shrunk. I thought the man seemed quite reputable, quite believable.
But shrunk or not, why would you want to have these creatures?
Have you seen a shrinking box?
The box, I understand. It's the creatures I do not.
Yeah, the box came with them in it as a demonstration of the shrinking capability.
I see. I'm definitely studying this guy. Sorry, Dave.
Oh, I'm still thinking with my stomach. So maybe it would have been safer to be carrying a large feast in there.
A large feast? That, if I could get it working again, that might be a good idea. I'm sorry, did you say feast or beast?
Feast. Like food.
Feast.
Have you eaten yet?
No, although I smell, and you can hear from in the kitchen song calls out, "Get them out first!" I'm so sorry to have caused such a ruckus in here. Thank you so much for your assistance. Such incredible prowess.
I think this gentleman is not capable of carrying out the wishes of our gracious chef. Perhaps we should assist.
Oh, I think that Kiev, he went to collect tongs and such to collect them. Though if they are the standard variety, once they stop steaming, they should be quite safe to carry. And you look down, they're like slowly sinking into the deck.
Jeez.
Maybe we could diffuse the acidity, and that will prevent them from burning further.
Of course. Now we just need to introduce an incredibly powerful basic substance. That's all we need. Good thinking.
You have it on?
I don't. And still steaming away. If you guys say nothing else, the door sort of opens up, and you can see that Jinchiroga and her space goblins kind of come in. And the space goblins are, both. They seem to be either very, angry with each other or very happy with each other. It's really hard to tell, and I don't think any of you guys speak Goblin, so they're just, again, the good old space goblins.
When I see the mentor, I'm going to spend a resolve to get my stamina back. Oh, well, I have to take 10 minutes, so
you guys will have 10 minutes, so all of you have an opportunity to spend 10 minutes, spend a resolve, get all of your stamina back. I don't think anyone took any hit point damage, did they?
Nope.
Nope.
Almost.
Okay. And so the goblins come in with Jinchiroga, and I can't remember if there's 3 or 4. Bear with me a second here. 4 of them. And they're kind of like, and kind of screaming, and Jinchiroga herself is completely silent and stoic, just walks in, and these 4 knuckleheads are kind of following around. They're about the same size as you are, Mozo, only about 3 feet tall, complete with their, the big dome helmets on as well. They have their weapons. They have their like piecemeal put together junk armor on as well. And they sort of go over and make their way into one booth. One of them walks over to the to one of the lice and kind of like is poking it. Another one comes up behind and shoves him into it. He falls in, and there's his armor smoking, and he's kind of like and running around. And then just sort of this sort of idiocy that carries on with them for a bit. Keeve comes back in though with about say 10 minutes later, and he has his the carrying like some gloves and some a bunch of like kind of plastic tarpaulins, and he's kind of like leads one up, gets another one, gets a third. It's going to take him a while to move all of them out. If you did want to help him, I'm certain that he could welcome the help.
Yeah, I could pry the carcasses from the their little imprint that they probably made in the deck with a knife.
So if you guys come over and help, Keeve says, "Thank you very much." And the incinerator is downstairs. Come on, so just this way. So he'll take one. Who else wants to take or help Keeve with these?
I'll take the ones that I killed. I'll take a couple.
Okay, boop boop. You got two. Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab one and then look, not in like a accusatory way, but just in that blank stare at the professor and make him wonder if he should be grabbing one since they're sort of his lice.
Yeah, he kind of fixes his glasses again, kind of. He's not quite sure what to say, but he's quite happy that you're doing it and not him.
Yep.
So Dutch and Zeta, you guys follow Keeve out of the into the hallway. And then over to one of the, actually straight across, I guess, from there to one of the, number 5, one of the ladders that leads down to the basement, the lower deck. Zondo and Mozo, are you staying in the mess hall then?
I think so. I'm assuming. Yeah. Oh, well, I say to Dutch and Zeta 5, are you returning here after dispose of those things?
Yes.
Very well.
We will be back.
I was setting you up.
Wonderful. So then, so you two, Zeta 5 and Dutch, you guys make your way down, and it's a bit of a process trying to get this stuff down to down the ladders to get down. Zondo and Mozo, I'll leave it to your imagination to the pain in the ass antics that the goblins are getting up to while you guys are trying to eat and get ready on the far side of the dining hall.
And I mostly want to stay there to keep an eye on them, so
okay.
I am paying attention. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now what? Let's see here. What? Actually, Dutch, would you give me a knowledge mercenary check, please?
I'll just do the culture or profession.
I think your profession, please.
Not so great. Oh, that's a 13. I guess if we're adding 5.
13 is good enough. You don't know her name, but Jinchiroga has the look of hobgoblin mercenaries. Hobgoblins are often found working in they're kind of a warlike. They have a warlike culture. So it's not unusual to find them working as mercenaries, and she definitely has that look to her. You would have seen her around like hiring halls and things like that. So the incinerator, guys, is located at 18, and to give you an idea what the lower decks look like, so I'm going to show you another illustration here. Okay, so this is kind of what you can picture when you get down to the lower levels, and that's also what Keeve looks like when he's got, not just a head. Those are goggles on his head, by the way, too. That's not, his eyes are multi-segmented like that, but his goggles are just up on his hair. So you guys all head down, or rather, Zeta 5 and Dutch. You make your way down to the incinerator through the long hallways, and you can see in here there are like it's conduits and power cables and whatever else, and Keeve gets you to kind of open up the incinerator, and between him and Dutch, I think that they can handle it. So Zeta, do you want us to wait in the hall, or you just want to?
Yeah, I'll just wait outside.
Okay.
For them to finish.
So you step outside, and you can see that the door to the other side of the of the engineering section is a little askew, and you think you can hear voices from in there. Oh, yeah. They're whispering to each other.
I think I will kind of try to get. I don't want to be looking like I'm listening, but sort of like, lean back against the wall next to the door,
Okay.
where hopefully the sound carries a little bit better.
Okay. There are two voices that you hear in there. One of them you recognize, and one of them you do not. Although you might guess who it is when you hear from the tone of the voice. The voice sounds similar to Dutch's, to be honest. And that voice says, "It's just too risky. We should stick to the plan." And the other voice, the one you recognize, is that of Security Chief Algiata. "If we follow the plan, it'll go wrong. We'll get nothing." And at that, the other door opens, and you see Dutch and Keeve walk out. And Keeve's like, "Oh, I hope I never have to see one of those again." And it's loud enough for you to stop, and you can hear that they've stopped talking in there. Their door opens, and you can see Algiata, boom, and Trostanek walk out. And Keeve kind of looks over, says, "What do you do? What are you guys doing in there? There's not something wrong, is there?" And Algiata's like, No, don't worry about it, Keeve. There's nothing, no problems." And Trostanek says, "No problems." They look over at you. Zeta, I take it you're kind of hiding trying to hide that you overheard this?
Yeah, it's probably like just, standard kind of blank face,
Yeah.
poker.
It is
Poker face.
There is a very, there is sometimes an advantage to being an android and having blunted, emotions. So
Yep.
you can feel, as he walks out, Algiata just seems to be a little, ornery as when you first met her. Trostanek definitely gives you the kind of, and he looks down at you and is trying, almost as if he's trying to like size you up or intimidate you. Looks over at you, Dutch, as well too, and you're a little bit taller than what he is. But unless you guys stop him, he and Algiata will be walking away.
I just give him a nod.
Okay.
Flare my nostrils, typical desk greeting.
Sure. He looks at you and kind of flares the nostrils and nods again, and then they leave. And Keeve says, "Whew, well, I don't ever want to run into something like that again, but..."
What do you mean by that?
"Oh, those lice things.
Oh,
I've heard those things are... I wouldn't want to run into those things outside the ship, never mind inside the ship. The Chimera is tough to keep to, she's not a junk pile, but she's certainly no, brand new specimen. Listen, I
do ask the engineer, what's in that room that they came out of?
Yeah, in there? That's where the drift engine is, and there's thruster access. It's more the guts of the Chimera. Hey, listen, you really didn't have to help me with this stuff, and I hate to Space Dog. I hate to say that I didn't leave a debt unpaid. So, let me just come with me for a moment. And he leads you back up the stairs, but with one of these things here. Yeah, and it says I tell you, that dog, her fucking internal clock is uncanny.
Yeah.
She so you guys make your way over to the what do you call it? The ladder that leads at 5. You pass the mid deck, go up to the upper deck, and he leads you to his quarters. He says, just wait here for a second, Dutch and Zeta, and he goes in.
We're up here, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So and as he comes out, he has a small little like a little box with a crate with a couple things in it. What's in there? He says, "Well, this is it's a little something I put together. I'm never going to make use of it, and and he kind of does a gesture up and down at you, Dutch. It's a Mark 1 grenade, scrambler grenade. So there you go, and this here's 4 healing serums. We had them for first aid procedures, but we've already got the first aid thing filled. So, your line of work, you're more likely to need it than what I would. Would that be helpful?"
Definitely. Most
Great.
definitely.
So he hands it over to you guys. I really can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. I hope you have, please, Song, he can be a bit of a pain, but he's got for an android, he's really got quite the taste. I hope you enjoy his meal.
So I shrug. I give 2 to Zeta 5.
Okay. And you guys meet back up for dinner now. Mozo and Zondo, you guys have been eating yourself, and when Zeta 5 and Dutch rejoin you, I think Zeta 5 and Dutch, you can see that already at this point, the android Song looks like he is very blue, but he looks like he's about to turn red because one of the goblins has thrown all of his food over another one. The other one is screaming at the top of his lungs over this because it was very, very hot. And the other one is shoveling in a plate of food that looks like it could feed 3 Vesk. And then you look to your side and you can see that Zondo and Mozo are sharing a table together. Am I going to guess right that you guys will sit with them?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah,
And I think what you see Mozo talking, and I'm not saying one word.
Yes.
Oh
So
yeah, I
you
wasn't
guys-
vlogging, but I wasn't vlogging while I was eating. But as soon as I'm done, yeah,
Awesome.
there's like a vlog pause.
I guess I give. I said the engineer. I'm not gonna do the voice the whole time. I apologize.
Mm.
Maybe I'll try. The engineer, he gave us healing, and I put down one of the 2 that I have left.
Yep, healing serums.
Yep, and I
Nice.
pop out the other one, and
Okay. So let's I
I
think
do keep the grenade unless Zeta 5 says something. I have a thing for
That
grenades.
was really excellent work with your sharp things that you guys were like throwing and your knives, and you've done this before, haven't you? You could be guests on my show. I'm sure we could arrange it.
You could be guest on my show.
the pain show, the gun show.
Is that the gun show?
Okay, so where we leave is with, before we take our break, is we cut to later in the evening. You guys have finished your repast. You guys have left. You're all retired to your quarters. Zeta, I can't remember if androids sleep or not in Starfinder, because that's different from Pathfinder. Let's take a look here.
yeah, let me look.
So your androids constructed.
Here's the real question though: do they dream of electric sheep?
Oh, I guess
Androids do not breathe or suffer environmental attacks.
you're not going to tell us, right?
They have a better saving throw against sleep, but it doesn't.
So I think that they do actually sleep. So
Yeah.
you're getting yourself ready for bed, or I think you've been sleeping, Zeta, and you wake up and you can hear there are, and this is for those who played Ashley. This is going to feel like I'm going to the same well, but you can hear there's a sound of something rattling. You wake up. It's not loud. I mean, there's the sound of the throbbing engines, but you can hear something rattling. And it seems like it's in one of the vents above you. There's, of course, ducts that run throughout the ship, and it's near the base. Like these are low down in your room, and you think it's just a doop 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 sound. What do you do?
Kind of look down and see if I can find the vent and
Yeah, you
look
find
inside.
the vent, and as soon as you get down there, you can hear whatever the sound is. It seems like it's going away from you. Go. Go. It's almost like something is dragging through there.
So, how big space are we talking for the vent?
It is about using the standard unit, it's about half a MacLeod.
Okay.
Right.
But it could fit like a Mozo or whatever the Usagi name was.
Definitely. Mozo or, Space Goblin or a Usagi could absolutely fit through there.
So I might, I wonder if there's a good way. I'm trying to think if there's anything I could do to like, that's close range. I could, well, wait a second. Okay, so I can do detect thoughts as a spell.
Okay.
I don't know if I have to see the thing because it says up to 60 feet in range
Let's
in
see
a
here.
cone.
Click on it. It's actually,
Oh yeah,
yeah, it'll display here. Let's see what it says.
detect thoughts.
Okay. And of intelligent creatures around you. The information revealed depends on how long you study. Let's see here. You can read thoughts. Spell can penetrate barriers, but 3 feet of dirt, 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common steel, a thin sheet of lead, or any force field. Yeah, I think it's unfortunately going to be blocked.
Yeah, not gonna like bounce around inside. Just need a direct
You
line.
could like rip the thing off and stick your head in the vent. I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
If the thing is going away from here, I will try to. I'm not expecting to catch whatever it is,
Yep.
but I think I will try to take the vent cover off and look around inside in case there was like something put inside the vent.
Do you, I didn't bother giving you guys like assorted gear and stuff like that because, like, just don't care. We can say you have it if it makes sense for your character. Do you think Zeta 5 would have any kind of, like, do you have any training in engineering?
I don't have any training in engineering. I was wondering because I know there are some. I guess it depends on the type of vent, but there's some that you could even like use a coin to turn the screws on. If it's that
Yeah.
simple, then that would be easy.
I think
Otherwise,
this one, yeah, I think it's going to require some kind of like tool or something to get it off.
yeah, I need to.
You can wrench it off. Like,
yeah.
don't get me wrong. You could definitely do that. I can't remember. Do you have mending as a cantrip?
I do not have mending.
Okay. Because that would have been a way to seal that thing back up again.
Yep.
You know, by this point, I think the sound has stopped altogether.
Yeah.
Maybe it was playing tricks on you.
Yeah. I still kind of want to check to see if there's something like placed in the vent.
Sure.
Can I take like my survival knife and kind of see if that fits the screw spot?
I think
well
you're going to
enough?
have to kind of, if you're going to use a crude tool like that, it's going to be broken. It'll be obvious that it's broken.
Yeah. But not like a big wrenching noise.
No. It'll be like prison style, right? Like you could
Yeah.
prop it back up there, but if someone touched it, it would fall down.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That seems fair.
Okay, so you easily pull this thing off, pull it out. You get down there, and you have dark vision, I think, because you're an android.
Yeah.
So you can see in there. Would you give me a perception roll? So we'll see how much you can make out. Okay. There is definitely drag marks, and if you look down, there's that from a specific angle. You grab, or you activate a light on your suit to shine in there, and not because you need to see in light, because you wanted to see the reflection of something. And there's an oily residue that's making its way. Not so thick that you would, like, if you ran your hand across it, you would feel it, but in the same way that you would be able to, like, if you on a certain light, you could see fingerprints left from the, oil. That's how well you rolled in your perception. Something did crawl through here. And with it rolled that well, I can tell you, not something that had fur. These are streaks from... There's not the lines that hair or fur would lead.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be something that is either hairless or is some other kind of physiognomy. But definitely something that leaves behind the oily residue that skin on metal might leave.
Something goblin-like, perhaps. Seems
A
like
naked
goblin.
space goblin
A
could
naked
definitely
space
do
goblin
that.
would probably be pretty oily and would leave all sorts of drag marks. Yep.
Absolutely. And as crude and whatnot as they can be, well, let's roll. Give me a culture roll, please. There's some common knowledge,
Culture.
but it strikes me that you might need... Nat 20. So you have faced space goblins many times before. While they are crude and noisy, they are devilishly clever sometimes, in spite of their like just congenital stupidity. And they can be incredibly silent. And it's a combination of numbers and ambush is often how they work out their, to the successes of their pirate attacks. So, you place the thing back on. You have some things to think about before you hit this for the morning. How close to morning do you think this is? I'll let you decide.
I think we're probably at like the midpoint of the sleep cycle.
What do you do with the rest of your night then?
So I'm gonna pull out my not my phone, but my tablet or whatever.
Comm unit?
Like, take notes. Yeah, my comm unit, and type out just a short note to remind myself in the morning about all of this and make sure that I don't like. There's something weird about how I can't remember like why I was on Liberty Station and all of that sort of stuff, and I want to make sure that I don't have like a weird feeling like, oh, this doesn't matter in the morning. So
Sure.
I'm gonna leave myself a note to make sure that it's like in my mind when I wake up, when I open up my comm unit.
You also have, I'm not sure, you can decide what you want to keep in there, but remember, so androids have a upgrade unit on themselves, on their body. I gave you a hidden compartment.
Mm-hmm.
So you can choose if you want to hide anything in there, you can feel free to do that and where it is and whatever. So, guys, let's take our mid-session break right now. Take 5 minutes and then we'll come back, check in with chat. There's not many people in chat. Hello, guys. Hi, Fred. What's shaking? Mo, hey, what's going on? Space 2020, Starfinder. We agree with you. So, take a quick break here, guys. I'll go see what my hound is up to, and then we'll come back and keep on with the finding of stars. So, back momentarily.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Oh, right from our coffee. Okay. That was cool to see. Oh, Dutch, did you spend a resolve point to get your stamina back, or are you just waiting to see how?
I was waiting to see when we could do that. I guess we can. Okay.
Yeah, you would have had a chance, but I mean, you're gonna after a night's sleep, you guys are gonna get your resolve back and your stamina back anyway. So.
Yeah. So do I need to roll that?
No. It's just you're gonna refill your resolve and your stamina. You guys will wake up with full amounts.
So, what was that item that he gave? A grenade?
It was a hold on. You know what? I can because of the awesome.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit thing, I can just drag and drop it onto your inventory. Give me a sec here.
Great.
Boom, boom, boom. So a great moment for any in the life of any dog owner is when you figure out what song fits their name perfectly in there. And I just accidentally stumbled on the fact that Anna Banana's name fits in great with "It's Not Unusual." So I'm just chasing her around, singing that at her, just repeating her name over and over again. Okay, it was a Mark 1 Scrambler. So let's see here. Scrambler. Oh, come on. Oh, of course, it's in the armory. God dang. God damn it. Hold on. The armory's not in the...
Oh, really?
Yeah, not in there yet. Well, I mean, I'm guessing they don't want to... there's a lot of items in the armory, so that's a lot of shit to enter.
I can enter it. I have the armory.
Yeah, it's great. I can tell you it is on page... Where is it here? Where are you? Solarian weapons. Nope. Granata. Your grenade is on page 26 of that. And it is a scramble grenade. Wait, it's not on there. What the hell? Mark 1 Grenade Scrambler.
Oh, it prevents grenades from happening.
Oh, very cool. Okay. There you go. Cool. All right. So then that is... I'll let you add that to your thing. Okay, so guys, apart from Zeta 5's unfortunate, thing that happened in his sleep, you guys going to put yourself back in your rooms. I can't remember where you were. So I think he was here, maybe? Yeah. Oh yeah, right. Zonda was way down there. Okay. And yep. Mozo, weren't you up here? Is that right? I got you guys right over here. Ping. Go. And Dutch. I don't know, there? Maybe? I don't remember. Okay, so the morning comes. You guys are able to go and collect your get your breakfasts. Who do you think is the first person to make it to breakfast?
I think I am, because I wake up as early as I possibly can.
Yep.
While the universe is still calm in that moment.
Sure. So you get up and you start making your way towards the main entrance there to the dining hall, and you can, I think, without having to make any, senses or anything like that, you get, there's some bad energy coming from there, and as you get closer, what you can see is that standing there is, of course, Song. His arms crossed, with a spoon once again in his hand, and Jinchiroga. And Jinchiroga is probably about a head taller than what Song is, and he seems to be blocking Jinchuroga and her 4 space goblins from getting into the dining hall. And he says, no, you can't bring those fiends in here anymore. They ate twice their allotted portions last night and made a right mess of doing it. I was up until all hours scrubbing, and I won't be spending the rest of the trip tidying up after them. Jinchuroga kind of straightens up and snarls at him. You dare bar us from our rightful repast? I paid good credits for passage aboard this bucket of rust, and I demand satisfaction. And Song is not fazed by this threat whatsoever, and he leans in and says, you can take your food and go. I'll pack it up for you, and you lot can clean up after yourselves or wallow it in your own blasted cabins. And that's when, Zondo, you sort of walk up. Jinchuroga, yeah, seems like she's ready to fight over this too, and the goblins, you're not sure what they're saying to her, but they don't seem to be telling her to calm down.
So I sense a disturbance.
And Song kind of
Is
looks
there a
past
problem?
you. Jinchuroga snaps to the side. It's no business of yours. And you can see the goblins turn to you and are like, telling you to get the hell out of here.
Oh, the business of the universe is the business of everyone, and the same in reverse. So I think I was sent here at this very moment when you were having this discussion to aid in this solving this dilemma you face.
Okay.
How can I help?
Why don't you give us a diplomacy check? Let's see how you can, if
All
you
right.
can diffuse this situation.
No.
In fact, I can see if I can diffuse this situation. You ugly,
I can
ugly
make it work.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Now, there is Astonishing Fortune available, I believe. There's still 2 left.
Yeah, you know what? I think I should do it just in case. Let me just, before I re-roll, let me just update that.
Now, here's a suggestion I'll make. Do you want to do a practice roll first to get it out of your system and then roll? Because Roll20 seems to quite happily fuck you guys over on a re-roll.
I just feel like it knows that I'm going to do that.
Yep.
But now that
What
we
if you
said
tell
it,
it you're doing a different kind of roll?
yeah, I'm going to do the real roll, but Roll20, I'm doing a fake roll. Just
Okay.
so you know, but this is actually the real one. 17.
Nice. So, she kind of looks down at you. Song says, "See, just help get rid of her. Her and these things." And they're like towards him, and she's still like the modicum of like quiet, sinister, menace. She turns and looks at you, and she says, "What do you have to say?" Nothing more. And I think now one of the rest of you guys can wake up. Who do you think is next?
Well, Dutch will gets up early because he goes and does his workout routine, and then he probably comes and trying to find if they have like a
Sure.
power shake.
I think Mozo and Zeta, you guys can hear the ruckus going on now, so you can feel free to pop your doors open and look out and see like what the heck is. And Dutch, you're making your way
To the mess.
Moza was doing a vlog talking about the quality of the beds, and then he's like, "What's going on?"
Okay, so you guys pop the doors open, and you can see Zondo seems to be engaged in some kind of unsuccessful effort to mediate between the very angry hobgoblin and the android chef. There's words being exchanged
Lots of
again.
chaos around him. He's very calm, you can see, but there's tons of chaos around him. He's like in the center of it, which is probably a bad
and
place
the
to be.
goblins are just like, they're like,
I guess Dutch is looking at the situation and cracking his knuckles just in case there's a brawl.
Okay, and they look back, and let's see here. Would you, would you give me a intimidate check, please?
Okay.
See
Not good at this. Not great at this because based on charisma, but yeah.
Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah. So you crack your knuckles, and she looks back and shoots you a look that just, there's that that measuring up, that goes on between each other. She does not think much of you.
No, I don't think much of her and her. I go, yo, brood, make noise. We're eating breakfast.
One of the goblins is now, you're guessing, trying to mime a Vesk, and he's kind of like stomping from one foot to the other, going. They don't seem to be terribly intimidated by you either. Mozo and Zeta, do you have anything you want to add to this? You had a bit of a standoff right now.
Mozo's like, wonder if they would leave if there was something going on in their rooms. And he goes back to his comm unit and he tries to like hack into the ship so that he can like set off an alarm in the hobgoblin's room.
You do which story?
He's gonna try and take his comm unit and hack into the ship and set off an alarm in the hobgoblin's room so that they go back.
Okay. So to hack into a thing is going to be it's not a inconsequential feat. And if you're caught, it's not a small thing anyway, just so you're...
Oh yeah, because I have to go through the ship, which would probably
you have to actually hack into the ship itself, yeah.
Yeah.
But you can try. I mean, it's not the difficulty number, so the ship is... tier 5. Okay, so then I think it means it's tier. Why don't you give us a computer's check first, Mozo? Let's see how you can judge how hard this is going to be. 25 is pretty good, though. Yeah. So let's. Here we go.
Might be like
half of the starship tier. Okay, so then difficulty is. Let's see here.
Usually like 15 times 1.5.
13. They've changed it. 13 plus 4 per tier. So it's actually a 21 is what you needed. So you're able to get at least basic access. Now,
that's great. That's really good.
Yeah. So the way that the computers are normally set up on ships, there's in order to access any of the secure like nodes, you need to have either like to beat it by 20, or you need to have one of or both of password and usually some kind of like actual key fob or something like that, some kind of physical device. Most devices in computers in Starfinder have like 2-step kind of access stuff. You have neither of those things, so you're not able to access any secure systems. What you find is that on this ship, everything is locked down. That's really unusual.
So I don't achieve what I wanted to achieve, but I learned something interesting.
Yeah. You're like, huh. Everything is closed. Like even things you would think that would be like, like the waste processing, or everything is sealed off behind. And with a roll that good as well too, would you give me I think one more computer's check since you're in there?
Well, since I'm in there.
Since you're in there.
Whoa.
Even better.
Holy hell. So
Mozo's like, oh wait, I'll let these guys. He like steps back into his room. He's like, forget what's going on in the hallway. This is way more interesting. He's like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yes. So the other thing that you you notice is the information. I'm trying to find where I know I saw this a moment ago. Just trying to find something. What you notice is that the information. Remember, I said that there's like an info dump that has that sort of is you get when you get onto the ship. It keeps kind of a set of info, or a set of information, so you can access whatever stuff you would want: encyclopedias, language info, things like that, maps, whatever, local, TV and whatnot.
Like a general network kind of.
Yeah. So memory in Starfinder memory is much bigger, so it's easier to just here's your internet, sir, kind of thing. The selection in here is very weird. And you in fact, I think with a roll that good, you actually look at your own stuff. You're like, come on, I must be on here. Sure. The one thing you find that's irritating is there's a couple more so than what yours is. There's certainly more amazing Zip-Zop performances than there is of yours. But there is some of yours, but it's from a very unusual time period. It's only from about a year before to about what is from today about a month ago. At least you think it is. It's a comprehensive package from then, but it seems like it's a lot more limited slice than you would normally gain access to.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, a year ago till about a month ago?
Yeah,
but
about
not
that.
Anything more recent or behind?
No, there's sort of, and I mean, it's not like there. It seems like when you go back to where the earliest date is for this, it's about a year or so ago. And it's not that you can not find information before that. It's that the files that were loaded were only about a year ago up until this, as if someone started saving stuff at a certain point and then dumped it onto here. It's not the way that's supposed to work. Maybe they've done something wrong with the computers, but it seems weird. However, you are distracted, though, from everything shouting outside, too. Zeta 5, what are, when you poke your head out, do you do or say anything?
Excuse me. I guess I'll ask, since I wasn't there for the kind of original song's proposal, I'll ask, what is the proposal from the two parties as to what should be done?
Zondo, you want to tell him?
Well, it seems that these beings made something of a mess in the galley, and our esteemed chef here would prefer they do not do the same. However, Jinjiroga, I think is your name. Forgive me if I got that wrong. And her companions have paid to get their refreshments. So thankfully, there seems to be what I feel is a very reasonable way to handle the situation, which is to have their rations packaged up for them so that they may eat where they wish and clean up after themselves.
So,
and I'm willing to help them bring that food wherever they wish.
You, I'm not going to make the noise over while George is speaking, but you can obviously picture there are 4 space goblins that are screeching and howling and whatnot while he's doing this calm explanation of what's going on as well, too. They're gesturing at the android.
And I can't continue as if that's not happening.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't imagine why Song wouldn't want these folk to be in his dining room.
I'm guessing with your android flat effect too, that comes across as even more sarcastic than perhaps Wilson did.
Totally.
So, and they're once again now gesturing at you and threatening some. One of them bends one of them over and starts doing something to it. And Jinchiroga, then finally, the space goblins seem about to finally lose their shit. They start grabbing for their blasters, and Jinchiroga looks down at them and says, "Shh!" And they all stop talking. At least they've closed their mouths and are kind of talking with their mouths closed now. And she turns and says to Song that where is it here? Looks and leans in down at him, her, yellowed eyes. Then pack it up, cookie. And Song kind of turns and walks inside. gets his things ready. While he's walking away silently, the goblins are kind of like, "Brah!" Or at least 3 of them are, because they're still talking. The one that didn't quite understand the instructions thought he needed to hold his breath, so he's fallen down. And that seems to disarm the situation here. A couple minutes, Song comes back. He provides them meals. The space goblins grab them, and then one of them grabs one of the meals from the other one, and they all go racing down towards their cabin. Jin Chiroga looks back at Song, and she doesn't say it, but there's certainly the look that says that this is not over. She strides back. If anyone is standing in the hallway, she does make the point of throwing a shoulder into you, unless you give way for it. And they lock themselves into their cabin. Dutch, you have incidentally heard them all night, because you have the cabin next to them. Lucky you. So, with that done, then Song kind of looks at the 4 of you and says, "Breakfast, then? Please, you are more than welcome in here." And
Thank you.
the professor kind of walks out. He looks down, and Song kind of gives him a dirty look, and the professor's like, gets back in his cabin, and the door shuts. So, as you guys are sitting in there, too, the door opens up, and you can see that finally the professor eventually sneaks in. Oh, I don't want to step on Zeta 5. Did you want to mention anything to anyone about what happened last night?
Not yet.
I wouldn't trust him either. No.
No, but I think what I'm going to do is sort of put together like essentially a text message about like, hey, there's something weird that kind of happened last night, and I think one of the goblins may have been sneaking around in the vents, and see if I can't if there's a way to send from a fake email account to myself and to the party members and the professor, so that it's not obvious who it came from, but somebody is throwing suspicion at the goblins. I think that's what I...
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's easy to send. The thing is without having actually got I think with each of you guys, it's easy to just get the effectively the direct code to transmit from one comm unit to another comm unit. Without having the professor's unit, it would be difficult to transmit. Although, at least it would without going through the kind of local server kind of thing. You can send messages to
All right, well then I won't include the professor, since that's just more work.
He may come in for breakfast as well, and it's certainly a small ship.
Yeah, so I think what I'll do, I'll send to everybody in this group, and then if the professor comes in and I can get a chance to do the have phones together or whatever we do for in the future to connect the devices.
Okay, so you guys all sit down. Mosley, you've got some unusual things you learned as well too. Now, but again, I don't know how much you trust these guys.
Yeah. Actually, that was one of the things I was going to ask. While I'm connected, can I not just look at my own information, but can I also look into some of these other people, like Zeta 5 and Dutch and this really quiet Sando character?
Apart from the basic, the picture that seems to have been taken while they were loading or whatever is on their, their space SIN number, effectively, or social, what is it in the States? Can't remember.
Social Security
number. Yeah, the space Social Security. What do you call it? You can't. You got the basic ID stuff in there. There's no other information about them. And you were only able to access just the lobby of the, if you can picture it that way, of the computer, without accessing everything else. Must be hidden behind a firewall. In order to access the firewall, the way that computers work in this is, you may not even know what nodes are in there, and they're the things that actually, the different units in the computer that run other parts of the ship or other things or whatever. This seems to have nothing in it. You're able to get into where there should be at least some of the basic stuff that you should be able to access or hack. In order to get better access, you're probably going to need a password from someone, or you're going to need a fob unit. You can have one of those things and make it easier to hack. You could have both to then gain full access.
Okay. Well, it's really strange. I was just like looking into my profile here on the computer, and they don't have nearly what they should have. Like, I don't want to sound conceited or anything, Mozo the Magnificent, but their data is skewed at the least, and pitiful even. Have you guys looked into what even your profiles are on the computer on the ship? I'm just wondering if you're missing information too, because like really, for them to only go back a year in my grandiose history, and they have more on him who won't be named than they have me. But
Yeah, I guess we could check and look and see.
Okay. What are you checking for?
Like exactly what he described, the information that.
Yeah, I mean he can easily pull it up on you could like set your comm unit down and then kind of like flick it, and it'll display in a bit of a hollow unit, and you flick through some stuff, and I mean like you can access the rough kind of the contours of what you might what you might expect in a infosphere search, but he's not wrong. Like it seems like it's a snapshot in time from this rather than with a limited access. This is not a ships like this that in the same way that the over time the ships will get a little dirtier just with use and whatever. The computers tend to get just clogged up with, not clogged that will slow it down, but just it has tons and tons of gunk that will tell you how far back that the ship is, how old the ship is. This thing seems... Go ahead.
It's almost like this ship's only been in service for a year, and they just loaded a bunch of information, or... You know what I mean?
Is there any way this ship has only been in service for a year, but like, can we tell what like model number it is or something like that?
You guys all can tell that this is not a ship that's been in service for only a year. This is much...
Yeah, we thought even the training room, right? Things look old. Things are scuffed up.
Right, but if this was an old ship that had been in service for like decades, you would expect it to have like decades of information on them.
Yeah.
Well, unless someone erased it.
Well, why would someone erase it?
Or reconfigured it. Like if you wanted to start French with a new personality, and you wanted to like, have a new profile, and you would just like delete your old stuff and then start new, right? What if you did that with a ship? Could you do that with a ship? What if you had some kind of weird, like, why would you do that?
Like, say, you could say goodbye to Mozo Devonamodo, the accountant, and hello, Mozo the Magnificent.
That is what I'm talking about, but with a ship.
I fear it goes far beyond just this ship. My friends, welcome to the desert of the real.
So when you say that, there's sort of the lights flicker. And then goes into perfect darkness, and then emergency lighting illuminates the room. And what you hear over the comm is, "Folks, this is your captain speaking. We've had a bit of a hitch in our systems, and unfortunately, we've lost power to our thrusters. Rest assured, though, that our capable chief engineer is on the job, and will have the problem fixed as soon as possible. Sorry for the inconvenience, and once we get this fixed, I'll speak with our pilot and see if we can't make up for any lost time." And you guys can realize now that Lozu, Pahir, is in here. And she sort of like shovels up, last of her breakfast in her mouth, gets up and runs out, heads off in somewhere, and the door shuts behind. Song walks over, head shaking, and puts down a couple more, hot biscuits or whatever. on the table, and he shakes his head and he says, if the power's gone to the fryer and the ovens, what are we going to be eating for dinner? Enjoy these while they can. Space gazpacho for the next 3 meals. And
is this a common occurrence aboard?
And he looks around to make sure like none of the crew is there, and he says, the Chimera is not a new ship, and sometimes drift travel can be troublesome. Leads on, yes. How do they expect me to work in these conditions? Have you
How
seen
long
all
have
right?
how long have you been employed by this group?
For this ship?
Yeah.
Too long. And he stands up. Do you want anything else?
For like a year?
Oh, more than that. I've been here close to a decade. Has it been that long? My career is stagnating.
Did something change a year ago?
Not that I know of. Why?
Just things don't add up the way they should in some ways.
Oh. Well, and then the door kind of slides open and you can see it's the professor again. And he looks over and he kind of is, like, adjusting his glasses, trying to, get up the nerve to walk in past Song. Song looks over and he says, your friend is here. Make sure he doesn't have anything with him. Turns and Song walks away, and the professor, kind of rubbing his hands, watches Song get away. And then seems eager to come and talk to you guys. He walks over and he says, good morning. Good morning, all. He kind of looks back and forth across the room. I wonder if you haven't noticed that something strange is going on.
What do you mean?
When he looks, I'm glad you asked. He grabs a chair, comes over, sits down with you guys. And he leans in. I don't know if you're concerned about the events on board, but have you noticed the disappearance of Security Chief Iom? And then this loss of thrusters. This has left me most uneasy.
Biscuits are good though.
What do you mean the disappearance of Security Chief IO?
Precisely.
Looks up and he says, you hadn't noticed? She's been gone since last night. I heard something in the vents last night. Something crawling around. So I went to try and find her. Nowhere. Nowhere to be seen, and none of the crew seems to know where she's gone. Then the power goes out. I think these are connected.
Perhaps.
He leans in even closer to you guys.
Sondra's about to tell us that all things are connected.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like the annoying stoner hippie. It's all connected, man. Shut up! Shut up, Sondo! I don't want to fucking hear it again. So he leans in and says, look, are these connected? I don't know. Perhaps I'm being overly cautious, but I am transporting a valuable relic. And I can't dismiss these things as mere coincidence. What if someone has disabled the ship and put the security chief out of commission to steal my cargo?
More bugs?
I was sold that on he was a very convincing man. But listen, given how you four handled the mishap with my broken containment box, you seem to be quite competent. Would you be be willing to do me a favor and allow me to provide you some recompense for it and look into this disappearance. No matter what you uncover, I can pay you once we reach Absalom Station and reestablish a connection to the infosphere. And he's kind of shaking his comm unit in front of you.
I can assure you we were sent here for that very purpose.
You were.
I'm just getting
Things
back
do
to-
not happen by accident. As you all know, all things are connected.
I. Shut up!
Yeah, boom.
Dutch will ask the cargo.
It kind of snaps over. The cargo is safe. It's in my cabin. But the cargo isn't the concern. I will be watching that. Where's the security chief? Where did she go? Where would you go on the ship?
How do you know that she is missing?
I've been asking. I wanted to have that noise investigated. But they say they can't find her. And they're distracted. They kept saying, well, she was over here. And I would go there, and they would be over there, and they're not there. And they would send me over here. And then I'd go over there, and they wouldn't be there either. I've gone everywhere on this ship, and I can't find her.
Even into the forbidden areas?
The forbidden areas, no. No, I've not. But I asked the crew. I asked them. Jeeves says he hasn't seen her. And Pahir, the first mate, she says she hadn't seen her either. Song hasn't come in for breakfast. And she is apparently diligent for that. She hasn't been in the gym.
And none of them seem concerned about her disappearance?
No. Not overly troubled. They say she's probably somewhere. But, and now with this monopolizing their attention, or as an excuse for that, see for yourself. Try and find her. She's nowhere. I will pay. I will pay.
That's not necessary.
This sounds like an adventure.
Dutch does the Vesk equivalent of like.
Totally. Yeah.
I bet you if we vlogged this, Zips Up would be finished.
Yes, if any, just please, you must not let them know that I am involved. I don't know what's going on, but with us stuck in the drift now, we are all trapped here. And if something is going on, we need to know what.
Agreed. We will solve this mystery.
Good.
I'm in.
Good. And he kind of gets up, and the chair kind of falls over, and he grabs it, straightens it out. Ben. Secret. And he
How much was
turns
he
and
paying us?
he kind of starts walking towards one door, and he stops and looks, and then walks over to the other one and goes out the second door. So, what do you guys wish to do?
He wasn't wrong about something in the vents.
What?
Something in
Well,
the
that was-
vent.
Something in the vents last night.
Those goblins were making so much noise. I'm sure they got up to crawling around.
Certainly could have been something oily and slimy went walking through my vent area.
The room next to yours, Zeta, the only room next to yours was the professor's.
Yep.
And the goblins were on the other side of the hall as well. That's not to say that there's probably ducts that run through this entire ship, but
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you guys
What
think?
do you mean, Zeta? You confirmed something? You sound pretty sure of yourself.
Well, yeah, I, opened up the vent and looked inside and saw that there were drag marks and after hearing that there was something moving around in there, and I left myself a note to make sure that I would remember in the morning. And if you require to see that, I'd hold up the
Yep.
unit with my note on it to say, like, yeah, see?
Yeah. Curious. How shall we proceed?
Well, we did see the security chief. She was in engineering.
Oh,
So we start there.
We got to find the engineering guy.
Keeve?
Yeah, we went down there with. I mean, out of character, we went down there with him, so we can't.
But we could search. We could search this entire level without any access problems, correct?
Right.
We want to do that first.
Is there any actual, like, barrier to going down or up, or is it just, like, that's
Nope.
not really, like, expected?
You just been told that you to try not, please don't go in those areas. Nothing's stopping you guys from going there.
Yep. Seems like he's probably going to be down by the thrusters if the thrusters are offline, and he's the mechanic. So
Yeah.
maybe we just go down there and see if he's working on them.
mhm.
Chief with the Vesk, the other Vesk.
She was
Yeah.
with the other vest. Do you know anything about Trostinek?
I don't know. Do I know anything about Trostinek?
You do not. But Zeta 5 does know that he's a bounty hunter.
Yep. Do I know anything about, like, his reputation as a bounty hunter?
Let me see here.
Like, is he the sort of bounty hunter who's, going out into the lawless wasteland and making the law for himself, or is he, tracking down people that just can't afford to pay their bail?
What you've heard is that Trostinek is a notorious Lothario.
Okay.
Trostinek is apparently the, I guess he's not a private dick, but he's the Vesk shaft.
It seems like because we aided Song with the problem that he had yesterday, that we would be afforded some. If we were seen to be making a mistake by going into the wrong area, we wouldn't get in too much trouble, especially if we're looking for Kiev to ask a question.
Which you guys do you think has the most experience? Probably Dutch actually would know this too. Dutch, if they're dealing with a thruster outage and they're adrift in the drift, their hands are likely to be full.
Yeah.
They probably have more important fish to fry, than.
Does anyone have any?
Yeah,
like,
you don't want to be stuck in the drift would be a bad thing.
Sorry, Arlen, what would you ask?
Oh, I was wondering if there's anybody, if we can make an excuse that we're just here with our friend Zondo, who happens to be a remarkable engineer who might be able to help. If anybody has any experience like that.
I think Mozo is quite good. Yeah.
That's
I'm
probably really good.
computers and engineering are kind of, one of the things
have-
that I'm magnificent at.
We have Mozo the Magnificent.
Nice.
Well, then let's take Mozo down to the thruster room and see what's happening.
Okay.
What if we asked Song for his bow? We helped him yesterday. And if we can help get the ship back up and moving again, I think he'd be appreciative of that. Maybe he would. And if we gave him, because if I had his fob, or we could figure out his password.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could ask him. Go for it.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, not everyone's necessarily going to have a fob and have it's the difference between full security
yeah,
access
the
to a
co-
computer and You know, like I
And
can
he's a
access
coder.
my work computer, but IT is the people who can make changes and do, you know, whatever to it. There's likely a
Right.
similar type of setup here.
And he's a chef.
And he's a chef.
Yeah.
The chef's unless the chef is Steven Seagal, he's probably not going to have access to computer.
Song,
Maybe
you stumble onto
maybe
it.
it is.
Song is the true hero of this story. Him and
Right.
his spoon.
We're all going to become hostages, and he's going to fight his way from one side of the ship to the other to rescue us.
He's just like the worst kind of Mary Sue DM NPC. He's a 20th level envoy. You fuckers are here for set dressing. That's it.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's part 2 is 4 hours of me narrating what Song's doing. So look forward to that, guys. Isn't that truly horrific? Oh my god, I went with an oblique horror
This is like
story.
this is like the opening scene of Executive Decision, and our character is the equivalent of like Kurt Russell
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
gone
Yeah.
before the opening credits.
It seems like we can just proceed below decks and see what we can find.
Okay. So you guys
Ask
make your way.
forgiveness, not permission.
You guys make your way down to the lower levels, and you can't, you know, the where you were when you were down here before, and the thrusters were going. There was that like constant humming and shuddering that was going on. That seems to be silent now, and
Can we hear like the sounds of work being done at all? 'Cause if it's quiet, I'm wondering if there's like, you know, a wrench gets dropped or cursing under his breath or anything like that that would.
yeah, sure.
Right. Yeah.
You can kind of stop everyone and be like, shh, shh.
Yeah. Guys, I'm about to roll perception. Everybody
Yeah,
stop
no.
walking.
You don't know.
Sorry. Oops,
You know the
sorry.
idea of you stopping everyone and like ooh, rolling a dice. So yeah, you can definitely hear, you hear Keeve's voice, although he seems to be speaking in a language that I don't think any of you guys speak Marikoi. So he is like, cursing or something in Marikoi, and then thing back into common or basic or whatever it's called. And you can hear the sound of someone doing heavy work, and then it's something banging, clang, clang, clang. So when you guys, if you carry off in that direction, this is sort of the again the layout of the that's the JPEG. That's not what I want. Go away. The handout is what I want. Come on, game, work with me. Go away. This. Boom.
Too many zip bands in chat.
Yeah. So you walk up to him and he tung, tung, tung. Are you guys trying to be quiet making your way up, or are you just making, he's going to easily hear your footprints or footfalls as you guys come up?
I think we're not particular. Does anybody want to try to be quiet? Because I wasn't.
No,
expecting-
we're going to go ask him questions. 'cause
So you can hear him curse as you guys kind of come around the corner, and you see him working on one of those big cables or something on the side, or access hatches. He looks over, he sees you guys. Thank the fates. I don't know exactly what happened to the thrusters. What are you doing down here?
Can help.
Here to help and maybe talk to you.
Talk to me. Well,
a little one is good at engineering.
oh, I didn't. You're a performer and you're a technician.
Indeed.
All right. Well, there's
Also, the magnificent engineer at your service.
all 6 arms. Wonderful. There's a step you can find in the main room to the right. Your help will be more appreciated, as is the company. I don't know what happened to the thrusters, but it's done a real number on the Chimera's whole propulsion system. Mozo,
Does this happen often?
she's an old ship, and sometimes this happens. Drift travel is certainly convenient and welcome, but it's not a walk in the park. And
Sir?
he goes over to, so when you come back, Mozo, you guys have like a minute or so if you want to talk to him while he's getting that ready. He seems to be giving up on what he's working on right now and going over to try and get someone else to help with something. I'm sorry about the delay. I hope none of you had anything that was pressing or connecting.
Well, I'm going to relate that. I'm going to tell him that the professor was concerned about the chief, and we saw the chief yesterday.
The chief? Oh, Algiada. To be honest, I've been so busy with the thruster failure. I'm sure she'll turn up. She was never one to be put off easily.
Mozo is just kind of casually glancing at what he was working on to see if it really is going to be helpful to the situation, or he's
Sure.
just...
Yeah, give me an engineering check, please.
I did. It was a 26.
26. Yeah, no, he's not wrong. There's something wrong with this. So he, when you're back with the platform and the platform, like effectively like a step ladder for smaller, sentients, you set this up, and he goes over to a toolbox on the far side of the room and gets a small diagnostic data pad out, and he says, "You see that big valve in front of you? I think it's jammed. If we can get it unstuck, we might be able to get the Chimera moving again. However, I need to temporarily slow down the amount of fuel pumping in there, or..." The trouble is...
Nope.
Agreed. We're on the same page then, Mozo. The trouble is, the limiter over here has always been finicky and needs constant supervision during the process. When I give you the word, just twist that valve to the right really hard. Okay?
Well, that I would recommend someone else do. I may be magnificent, but I'm not nearly as big as, say, Dutch here.
Dutch, do you have any training in the propulsion engineering?
Dutch has muscles.
Dutch shakes his head.
How about I tell Dutch when to do it, or how to do it?
You can try, but it's not really just a matter of going, there is a specific...
Just so it's not a strength activity, it's more of an engineering?
Oh, no, it's an engineering thing, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And what he's asking, that makes...
Really
yeah. What he's recommending is it makes sense that he's doing that, and what he's told you about the whatever it is, the interflow fuel thing, if it's a problem, then he's definitely going to want to keep an eye on that, because if it acts up while you're doing this...
Well, I feel like I need to make some kind of random check before I do anything important, because...
No pressure.
Because we just rolled two 26s in a row, and roll 20 is going to, it's time for a 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, Keev starts kind of, tapping away on this data pad, and it really seems like, oh my gosh, like it's a minute worth of him fussing around with this thing and hitting the data pad and trying to get it to work right before he's finally satisfied and is like, okay, all right. Mozo, go now. Okay. You start moving it, and unfortunately,
The ship blew up.
Mozo, I need you to give us a reflex save, please.
Oh, this is not good.
And
I told you I needed to...
I'll leave it to you guys. Was anyone standing next to Mozo?
Could that check be do we have any astonishing fortune left?
That unfortunately your engineering roll isn't what triggered this.
Oh.
Yeah. Save the astonishing fortune for your reflex save.
Reflex roll.
Right, exactly.
Okay, let's see.
Reflex. It's the reflex.
Nice.
There you go. Yeesh.
Just enough. Awesome. Okay, so
nice.
that means that you only take.
Holy take.
Yeah. Oh boy.
That's
Yeah. Again, like today is apparently the day I need to roll up characters. So you would have taken 21 damage. But because of your save, you only take 10. As it, you sort of see, and we see your, your days as a tumbler come in handy, and you dive for cover. This little fur ball sort of jumps away as this explosion goes out, but unfortunately not before it singes a bunch of his hair. So 10 points of damage means
I only have 8 stamina.
and then 2 hit points.
2 hit points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your resolve should be
resolve.
Yeah, your resolve should be full again because you had a full night's sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what can resolve be used for again?
If you spend 10 minutes, you can get all of your stamina back. And then there's 2 other situations where you could stabilize yourself, and then you could spend a quarter of your, or you can spend a quarter to stabilize, or whichever way it is, and
A
the
quarter
other
to
to get back
stabilize.
to 1 hit point.
And then if you've got 1 left over, you can spend 1 to return yourself to 1 hit point once you're stabilized. So
Okay, so I don't need any of that yet.
Yeah, this throws the little Mozo across the thing, and he hits the ground. And Keeve shouts out, "No, no, 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 no!" And he hits something on the data pad, and then that flame that fills the hallway for about a 15-foot cone for a moment or so finally cuts out. And Keeve comes running over. Mozo, Mozo, are you all
You
right?
said it wasn't going to explode.
I'm sorry, Mozo. I'm so sorry. This is so.
What happened?
Oh God, I don't know how that happened. Now, there is a skill in Starfinder called Sense Motive.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
So, if any of you guys who wish to question his credibility, you can please. Okay, Zondo.
Yeah. I've been studying everybody. That's why I became
Like-
a psychiatrist for now. Or
Awesome.
I'm totally worried about being burned. I'm currently not really.
Yeah. My hair. Did it ruin my hair? Oh God. And you've got kind of like a, puffed forward hair at this point as well too, from where the explosion occurred. Zondo, he's telling absolutely the truth.
Interesting.
He seemed to have no idea. He seems genuinely distraught that Mozo got hurt.
Okay. I'm going to keep this to myself for the moment until we're out of earshot of him.
Okay.
Dutch will ask the engineer, could it be sabotage?
Sabotage. I don't know. And he's trying to help Mozo up to his feet. Any of you guys can make either an engineering or a perception check to try and inspect that thing, see if anything hinky is going on.
Would I have noticed it earlier when I was looking at work?
Nope.
Well, clearly I didn't because I would have been burned.
Yeah.
I'll go back and take
20.
Go back.
Mozo.
Whoa.
Yep. I think Mozo has this one. You go back,
Something I
Mozo,
missed
and
earlier.
you're kicking yourself like you don't do any kind of dangerous trick without double checking it to make sure it's not dangerous. How did you just decide to go along with this stuff? You look in it. Not only was it the fuel intake valve was damaged and was primed to do it. You can see by the nature of the damage at the side, it's a little scorched right now. It was sabotaged. It was intentional, recent damage.
I'm going to point that out. I'm going to but look at here, the valve.
So
I didn't notice it before, but it's been damaged. Like
Yeah.
this could have been you. Could have been you getting burned.
So he looks over and looks at the thing, and he says, "Oh my, how could that have happened, Mozo? I'm so sorry. I didn't know. You have to believe me. I didn't know." And
We believe you.
you're right. So Zondo says he believes him.
Because who else was he at?
Can you bring the security chief down here to investigate this?
Well, I don't. Where is she?
Clearly, I don't know.
I don't. If she was here, I could ask her, but I don't know. I don't know where she is.
Can
Is
you
it true that she's
contact
missing?
her?
What was that? One of you guys?
Go ahead, Dave.
What Mozo just like? Is it true that she's missing?
I've been busy. This is what I've been. He gestures at the kind of thrusters around. He's like, this is what I've been doing. I don't know.
Well, can you contact her on?
He gets his
Chip
comm
bumps.
unit out and he kind of hits. And he's hitting the message to her. And he says, it's not going through. She's not answering, at least. But I don't know. I've got this on top of the thrusters now.
Wait, but if the ship engineer went missing or was injured shortly after the security went missing, then that'd be pretty bad for the ship, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it really would.
Who else would be key to go missing or get injured? That would also be bad. That maybe we need to check on. Things are weird. Things are going on here that.
Oh, you think that was? And he looks back at the valve. You think that was for me? And his eyes,
if the thruster.
those segmented, they're kind of sparkling like with worry.
Yeah, well, if the thrusters went out and the valve was deliberately sabotaged and no one knew that I would come here to help you, it would be you standing in front of that valve trying to do the work by yourself, and you would have been hit by the fire. It's almost like someone set this up for you to get hurt.
This sort of hits him at once, and you can see he sort of staggers back. His tail kind of props up, and he sits down on that stool that you were sitting on, now scorched with the fire. And he kind of staring off, and he says, The Chimera is not brand new, so sometimes she just breaks down, you know, or wears out. But I'm sure that they were working fine last night. No sign of wear and tear. And now, if that's, and he gestures at the fuel pump, if that was sabotaged, then someone may have sabotaged the thrusters as well. And if Algiada's missing, she's not a friend per se, but certainly not someone I would wish ill on, and she's not the kind of person I'd want to share a drink or a meal with. But she keeps the Chimera flying, keeps things in line, you know?
Well, can you get us into her quarters to look at it? She is missing. I'm sure you people on the ship have all sorts of other.
I don't know if I could. I need. Why don't you give me? So if Dutch wants to do the talking, you can go ahead and make a diplomacy check. If someone is feeling more confident with their diplomacy, they can feel free to take the lead there.
Dutch doesn't diplomatize; he intimidates, whether it's on purpose or not.
Yeah.
You almost died.
I think I jogged him too hard.
I guess Zonda will step up if no one else is.
Yeah, man, my intimidation.
Oh,
Yes.
Jeez.
He's sort of like you almost died. Why don't you let us in? Come on. You have the keys. He sort of stumbles back. The step gets a little further away. He says, I didn't have anything to do with this. I'm just the engineer. I keep this thing flying. That's it.
We know it, and you do an excellent job with a vessel in this condition. But you did not die, and you were not meant to die. You were meant to prevent others from dying. That is why you are still here.
Try to kill Paizo.
No, I will handle this, I think. My good
segmented
friend.
eyes get a little bigger.
And we were here. We were brought here to help you. So together, perhaps we can prevent others from dying.
You...
Would you not wish to save your crewmates?
Well, of course I want to save my crewmates. I want to save the crewmates and the passengers, but...
Well, we may not have time. You almost were killed moments ago. This is happening quickly.
He falls back down on the seat as it sinks in. Go ahead and make a diplomacy check.
Okay, here we go.
It's a good cop, bad
Yeah. Or good, bad cop. Oh, not so great cop.
So he kind of shakes his head, or it's like rubbing the top of his head, underneath his goggles. And he shakes his head slowly. He says, I can't help you sneak in there. If I'm caught, they're gonna fire me. But.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of looks around. If Algiada's missing, and if she's missing and the rest of the crew are working, everybody else is going to be busy, and the interior cameras haven't worked for months.
Really?
Well, do not worry. If you help us enter her quarters, we will take full responsibility for that act, and not mention you if we are questioned about it.
He said, please don't, Captain.
No, we need you to get the engine running again so that we can exit drift space.
All right. You leave it to me. I can get this fixed. Mozo, I'll take care of it from here. I'm so sorry.
Oh, better me than you. Wait, no. But,
you want to take 10 minutes, Dave, to get Mozo?
This conversation probably took around 10 minutes, so I'd let that be the rest if you want to spend a resolve and get your stamina points back at least.
Awesome.
Yeah, Mozo was just sitting there the whole time you guys were talking. Looked like a stuffed animal on the ground.
I would like... So...
That's one resolve point?
So the security guard is missing. The other person who was with her was the Vesk. So let's go knock on the Vesk's quarters.
So as you're kind of walking away, the Keith kind of turns around and says, "Wait, did you think that Vesk is involved?" And he walks back over to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't know if it's relevant or not, but I was getting some correspondence from back home on Legacy Station, and I thought I saw Algiada and that Vesk bounty hunter at a bar, drinking. Algiada sometimes picks up a temporary companion when we stop at stations for more than a day, if you follow what I mean. And from what I've seen in the past, this meetup was heading in that direction. If you know what I mean.
I'm going to need you to be more explicit. I have no idea what you mean.
Zeta 5 just says out loud, blink, blink.
I can explain it to you further later, Zeta 5.
About connection.
And in the Starfinder universe, interspecies pairings like that are not unusual at all. No, it's not. So, what do you guys plan on doing then?
Well, so he gave us a key to get in there. Is that what he did? No.
He gives you, yeah. Well, he gives you the. Let's see here. Where?
I guess access to get up to the upper deck or something.
Yeah, exactly. There's no access. He's told you that there's not any cameras that are working.
Not anybody watching, and the cameras aren't working, and
Song's going to be cooking. Pahir.
So should we ask the Vesk then? Go ask that guy before we go up to or check on him.
And he, if you're asking about if you're asking about that Vesk, I heard he was going to check on cargo.
What?
He had cargo with him in the front of
Are
the
there any
ship.
vents around?
On the middle deck, the front of the ship, the cargo. Did none of you bring anything with you?
No.
Just what we carry.
When I was heading down here, he said he was headed there.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any vents from the middle deck that lead down to this deck to here?
What do you mean for circulating air and such? Yep.
Yeah.
Service ducts as well, too.
The Jeffries tubes.
Right.
Precisely. Space Jeffries tubes.
Right, exactly.
You want to check any in the local area? State of 5? Did you guys
Yeah,
recognize-
if you'll open them up, I can stick my head in and see what's what. Or I could probably just, swipe a screwdriver off the tool belt or something and open them up myself.
There's probably some extra tools. If all you want to do is like search in some things, it's just like a little magnetic, kind of like screwdriver type thing that
Yep.
is needed to get these things off so you can put them back on.
Yep.
I'll toss you one.
Okay.
I'll
So
toss you
yeah,
one.
I'll open up the vent cover and kind of stick my head in.
And where is that?
inside.
So where you?
Well,
Which vent? Sorry,
any
I
vent
missed
cover,
that.
any vent covers that are in the nearby in the area.
Yeah, just near to where we are now.
Okay,
In
so
the-
Mozo's got
the
this
lower
idea.
decks
The
next to
sabotage occurred, I guess.
here.
yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
you
Mozo,
sure.
yeah.
You look in there. All right. Zeta, you want to give us a perception check again?
Sure.
Nice.
Pretty awesome. They're not clean. There doesn't appear to be anything in the vent. At least not the same
That's
kind of
fair.
like oily residue that
Yeah,
you saw before.
I'm thinking if they're a little like dusty and stuff, the dust would be disturbed if somebody had gone through here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Doesn't look like whoever sabotaged it got in through this vent. There's another one in the room, we can check that, but I don't expect it to be any different.
Okay. Take a couple of minutes to check down here. You don't find anything similar to what you saw in the vent in your room in any of these others.
Well, and that
Mozo-
makes sense, given that I had to stand on a ladder to get access to the valve, and because if a space goblin was doing this, they would have had to have a ladder to get access to this valve and tamper with it. This would have to be done by someone all of your height.
Perhaps. Before we leave, Keith, can you point out on a schematic of the ship which of the quarters belongs to Algiata? So we not enter the wrong one?
Yes. Let's see.
And where the vest gives. I don't even.
Mozo explains to Keeve while we're checking the.
Do you mean where the
The vents.
Vest's quarters are, or
Both.
where he is? I think I
Oh,
accidentally.
Yeah, he's up in the quarters. The,
Yeah. I think he's across from Zondo. I just accidentally erased his token because I am a dummy. 1 second here. Let's see. It's smaller. There we go. So this is. I got them marked for whose room is whose here.
Cool.
Okay. So the what do you call it? The cargo bay is right at the front of the middle deck. That's what where they said they saw Trondenek headed.
So, so I guess we're going to come up through here.
Sorry, Trostenek.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So you could easily, from where you are, you could just make your way down to the bot, like to the far, like after the ship, and then take a ladder.
Yeah, we're here in the drift engine area. So now we can come here.
Mm-hmm.
Knock on his door.
Okay. Is that where you guys want to go first? Is to Trostenek's quarters?
I mean, it's kind of
We
on
wanna
the
go-
way, so.
On the way.
Yeah, I think it's on the way, and we can if he's coming back from the store, whatchamacallit, cargo areas, then it's pretty easy for us to see him coming.
Okay. So
before we leave, Mosto explains to the engineer that we heard, one of us heard somebody walking around or crawling around in the vents and found traces of their passage. So that's why we want to check the vents.
Your
Strange things
professor,
happen on the ship.
Keith,
your professor friend,
I'm sorry, you're telling Keith this, or you're telling
Keith, yeah.
Yeah,
Keith? Okay.
Keep this.
Do you think they were going through the vents?
We don't know. Somebody's going through the vents, but to what end? Not sure.
But who could come through those? I mean, you, Mozo, the space goblins, maybe.
Potentially.
I don't think Grath would do that. Grath is the Yasaki pilot. Grath wouldn't be doing that. He's been flying the ship and is sleeping when he's in his off hours. Though, I suppose someone had to do it. And it has to be someone here, so...
Space life.
Let me know if you need anything further. I really should get back to these thrusters. The sooner we can get these active, the sooner we can get out of the drift, the sooner we can hopefully put this behind us. So, you guys head down, and a second here. Would you guys give me because you're going to have to kind of walk around. Would you guys give me a perception check, please? Let's see who does the best here. Zeta 5. Pretty awesome. Yep. So Zeta, you are walking. You guys have you make your way. Excuse me. Out of the thruster area here. You make your way through this engineering bay. The door opens here. You guys make your way. That door opens as well. The rest of the party starts making their way down, and you look over. You can see that not only is the door to the incinerator, has it been left open? You think you can see something right under here, under the panel. You have to get closer to see what it is.
Who's in? Am I at the back of the line, or?
You're probably at the back, yeah, I think.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tap the person in front of me, just on the shoulder, and then walk over towards it.
Okay. Okay, so you walk over towards it, and as you get closer, you're looking down, and you can hear the roaring of the incinerator to your left. And what you see on the ground is something really, really unusual. This... Nope, I just did it again. Open up the JPEG instead of the... I'm gonna hang it. Kev, you giant dumbass. 1 second here.
Close.
There we go.
Wow. Best entertainment on the web. Thanks for that, Daniel.
Thanks, guys.
Nice.
So here we go. This is what you see. It is about, when you pick it up, it's about maybe a foot long. And anybody can make a culture check for this. Oh, Zondo, I think you say it out loud before anyone else gets to... You're that one who vocalizes shit in a TV show. You're Captain Exposition. That's the... Okay, so what that is...
Trophy, it looks like.
It looks like which?
Well, it looks like a football trophy because it's kind of football shaped.
Yeah. Backward football rules! It's the Adari. It's a sculpture of the generational vessel that carried the Kasathans from their planet into the Pact Worlds, and that remains the center of Kasathan culture in the Pact Worlds. And when you pick this thing up, what'd you roll for perception there?
I got 20. Oh, perception.
Oh, it was yeah.
Culture.
Zeta, what'd you roll for perception?
I rolled a 22 for perception.
Oh no! It turns into a Fang Dragon.
No. Yeah, it's...
By which I mean Space Fang Dragon.
Right.
By which I mean you pick this thing up.
But I noticed that it turns into a Fang Dragon, right? Because I rolled so well.
Space Fang Dragon makes everything better. Okay, then what you see is sorry, what was that?
It's an SF dragon.
What you can see is that there is, while the statue itself is painted with light browns and grays, the nose is stained with blood.
And just to be clear, because Zeta 5 would remember, but Arlen does not, the Kasathans are the people that Algiada is from, right?
No, that she is a Riforian.
Oh.
The Kasathan is Captain Ramim V. Siala Koso.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
The Kasathans look alike. Where is he here? Look like this. Long, elongated skulls, 4 arms. And they often wear breathing apparatus because their natural habitat is different. So as a little bit of realism, I just had a little bug, because I had the door open to the backyard. A little bug landed on the nose of the sculpture on my screen.
That's awesome.
That is a level of realism we're shooting for here. Oh, and now the dog's back. Hi, Anna. Hi, sweetie. So what you, if anyone wants to try either a life science or medicine check, you may be able to get some further life sciences, or medicine. All right. Zeta 5. So you got, actually, and you did best, and you've got it in there. So, you know, this is not your first time delving into some kind of forensic work, I imagine, as a Knight of Galerion. You're looking at the tip of this thing, and what you can see is that the blood has dried only fairly recently, perhaps less than a day. And you beat it by, you know what, you did it quite well on the save, on the check as well too. You kind of fleck at it and look a little closely. There's a different tinge to the blood of a Kasathan, and you can tell that this is Kasathan blood dried on the tip of this Idari sculpture.
What can you see, Zeta 5?
I'm going to explain, you know, after Zondo explains what this is, I'll say, you know, and this is definitely Kasathan blood on the tip, and it dried because of the you know, discoloration and the dryness and all that sort of stuff. It, you know, seems to have happened less than a day ago.
When you pause, you can all hear the roaring of the incinerator.
So is this? It was partially in the incinerator, or was it? It was all the way in. It just hadn't burned all the way up.
On the far side, almost completely under part of the engineering apparatus or whatnot, the engine behind. Zeta 5 only managed to notice it because he's just a very perceptive android, and happened to look over and saw it just a slight discoloration and odd shape. You could have passed by this place 100 times and maybe never seen it had you not been as, you know, keen to look as what Zeta 5 is.
Just in case, I'm going to connect with it for a moment. I put my hand on it, and I'm going to use detect magic.
Sure.
Which is coming up here for you.
Okay. What does it look like as you make use of detect magic?
Okay. I mean, no one else sees much of anything because I feel like it's all psychic, but I'm like concentrating and my eyes are moving inside under my lids very fast.
Okay. Oh, nice.
As if like I'm reading a record, I'm reading.
Okay. So now would you kind of give me a mysticism check?
Yeah. Here we go. Mysticism.
Oh, very nice.
Okay. So you, there is no magical aura on this. There's no magical aura on the blood.
Okay.
There's nothing whatsoever that you can, unnatural about this. This appears to be a objet d'art as opposed to, like an enchantment thing or a hybrid, piece of. In the Starfinder setting, hybrid technology is part magic, part technological. So.
Yeah. Okay. As I was suspected, so I take my hand away and say, "There's no magic emanating from this sculpture."
Well,
And I realize no one asked me that, but I respond as if they did.
Dutch shares his theory. Looks like someone trying to hijack the ship. Hijack us. Goblins, I bet. Goblins! Sneaky.
Perhaps.
Mozo, are you
Very
healing
strange.
yourself?
Yet they.
No, I was trying to adjust the quantity in my pack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You accidentally injected yourself? Oh, nighttime. Bedtime for Mozo.
Do we want to go back to Kiev and ask him when he last saw the captain?
I think we.
Yeah, because if someone took out the captain and the security chief and tried to take out the engineer, we got serious problems.
Trying to hijack the ship.
Well, and don't forget, it's possible that the chief may have been the culprit. We don't know for sure. We have evidence of the fact that the captain may have been killed. There is blood here that matches his species. And we know that Heave may have been killed in that sabotaged engine, by that sabotaged engine. But we don't know about the chief.
The security chief.
But if I hadn't come along and done that, it's entirely possible that the chief would have been burned.
Right.
I think
Yes.
what Zondo meant was security chief, and what Mozo's saying is chief engineer.
Yeah, I mean security chief.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything in like the incinerator, like bones and stuff, or that we can see? Is it just so...
It's an insane. It's unfortunately it's like a fusion incinerator. So whatever's gone in there,
Well, we should close it.
closed.
Better than a
I mean-
wood.
Should we return to Keep anyway and give him a way to communicate with us if he ever needs to contact us if something is happening?
Yeah.
Yes,
Do you want to?
brilliant plan.
That seems
Right
like,
back there.
yeah, just to, while we're here, make sure that that's...
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll head back down to see, and hopefully he's still alive.
Like, just like-
Yeah. Oh God, no!
Exactly.
Just tap on the wall, Morse code him.
Dutch comes running down the hall, brandishing the statue. Hey, keep out! So he comes back, and what is it that you say to him?
First of
when
all, we
did
want
you
to give
last-
him. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Arlen.
Yeah, when did you last see the captain?
The captain, I think I saw him before we came down. He was he and Pahir. He's the one who sent me down here to work on the thrusters. He was up there. Pahir was up there as well, and Grath was up there as well. Everyone else was on the bridge. We didn't know where Algiata was. The professor was looking for her, if I recall.
Right.
Okay. Zondo thinks that there's danger afoot, and seems like you already knew something about that with the sabotage and the potential explosion, but we also wanted to make sure that you had a way to contact us in case, you need help because of other forms of danger.
Of course. Here. And he, kind of gestures with his comm unit. It provides the direct link. Tweet, 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 tweet to each of you guys.
Great.
And give them like a 1 to 3 button code. Like if something's in danger, it doesn't have to actually physically call us, but send us like a 911 or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. He seems to be pretty excited to be. Oh, go ahead, Dave.
Zeta 5, do you still have that statue thing or the trophy?
I think we should hold on to that. That's my.
But does he recognize it? Does he know where it might be from?
Yeah,
Have you seen it in someone's corpse?
If you show it to him, let me make a perception check for him. See if he notices the blood. Nope. Okay. Oh God, what'd you guys do?
I was gonna ask, is there any chance that his species has a cool ability to do a DNA test by licking the blood? 'Cause that would be pretty neat and useful to us.
Yep. Unfortunately,
Do androids have some like a add-on that you could do that with? Just touch your finger.
That would be neat.
Yeah.
I think that he looks at that and he says, "That's the captain's. That's the Adari. That's where he's from. Where did you get that?"
It was in the engineering room next to the incinerator, lying on the ground.
Oh no. God. Hold. He hits the comm unit, and he hits, and you hear the voice that you guys recognize from over the comm. Keith, what can I help you with? Captain, are you okay? And you hear a pause. Keith, are you feeling okay?
Cut the line. Cut
Okay.
out.
So he hangs up. What did you? Why did you want me to hang up?
We have not seen another Kasathan on board the ship, right?
Nope.
Yeah. So.
What's he gonna think now, though?
Just say static.
Do you think?
Tell him.
Do you think the captain's behind this? But we ran some sketchy jobs sometimes, but and Captain Ramim, he used to be a fence before he ran the ship, but everyone on the crew knows that he moves some gray market cargo or takes on a passenger with some trouble with the law. We don't ask questions.
Yeah, we saw the goblins upstairs.
Yeah. But look, I'm here.
Look, it costs money to keep this in the skies, and you can't always, in near space, you can't always pick who you want as your passengers. But he always pays us extra when we have those dangerous cargo, those dangerous runs. Oh. Wait. You don't think we're all involved with it, do you? You know, I didn't do anything. And I trust Captain Ramim. He's always been good to us.
Well, someone tried to kill you.
Trostenek's cargo was big. I know. I had to move it on.
Big enough to hold another person the size of the captain?
Big enough to hold you, and he gestures to Dutch, and you, he gestures to Zondo.
Hijacking. The Dutch might be pacing back and forth. He doesn't like this. But...
Okay.
Mozo points out the blood on the statue. Or on the thing.
Blood? And he looks down at it with, holding it with his multi-segmented eyes. Is that... Whose do you think it is?
It's Kasathan.
So I ask, is there another Kasathan passenger on board?
He looks down at the phone, you know, where it's got the contact, and it's starting to ring from the captain. He looks up.
What if the captain's not really the captain?
He's gonna know that I'm in on it if I don't answer.
Answer.
Just give him
Captain.
Only status report.
And so it opens up, Captain, and you hear once again the captain's voice. Keeve, are you okay? Yes, Captain. Let's roll.
No trouble here. Everything's fine. Everything's all
I'm
fine.
fine. Everything's fine. How are you?
Nice.
And the captain says, Keeve, are you working on the thrusters? Yes, Captain. There's been no leaks of coolant, have there? No, Captain. You haven't been into Song's stock, have you? No, Captain. No, Captain. All right, then. Carry on. Give us an update on the thrusters in one cycle. Goes off. He looks at you guys like, do you think he bought it?
He asked about was it the coolant that was the problem? There was not enough coolant into there, and that's why it exploded? Is that what happened?
No, but we had a coolant leak before, and it's a long story.
Well, if someone is impersonating the captain, they're doing an excellent job. He seems to know a lot about the ship and about its history.
That's true. That's true.
But wait, the ship's history. Why does the ship's history only go back a year?
What do you mean?
I was looking for myself in the ship's logs to see what, information the ship had of me, and of course, I expected there to be decades of my magnificent videos and vlogs and such, but
Yes, your show runs.
it was
Many awards. Yeah.
and it only goes back a year, and then it stops a month ago.
Well,
That is highly erratic.
It only.
It's almost like someone wiped out the ship's history and then replaced it with a specific amount of time.
Well, that's perfectly normal. That pause is exactly what he gives you guys as well.
Yeah. I don't even think I need to roll sense motive. To
Yeah.
have
Yeah, I
sense
know.
motive.
Yeah.
I rolled a sense motive check actually for Zondo, and they rolled so well. And yeah, the thing is, he's not lying. He's not being untruthful.
Yeah. He believes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think with that, guys,
Yeah.
we'll bring part 1 to a close.
That's why
Awesome.
I say get to the cargo.
Get to the cargo. Fantastic. All right. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for part 1 of the Chimera Mystery. As is always the case, if you have, I'm going to move us back to the main screen here because it looks a little better than just the big map there. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the adventure, the session, or the game in general, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. You can also reach me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings, and you can reach me by email at dungeonmusings@gmail.com. You can also find a link in the description of the video to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, and you are more than welcome to join us there. We have a channel dedicated to Starfinder, to all the other games we run on the channel, yeah, all of us are active there, so you're more than welcome to join us and the other fine folks who have joined the Dungeon Musings community there. In addition, if you enjoyed the session and you don't want to miss part 2, be sure to click on subscribe, click the bell icon to know when we're going live. We will be back with part 2 weeks from now, and then we will be concluding, hopefully, the Chimera Mystery, one way or the other. Yeah, you can also find the schedule posted on the community tab of the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel every Sunday night, as well as on Twitter and on the Dungeon Musings Discord server. Last thing I want to say is a huge, and I say this all the time, but for 4 players who play in an awful lot of my games anyway, guys, thank you so much for agreeing to play some Starfinder. I mentioned that I wanted to run a couple of Starfinder adventures or sessions specifically for Halloween, and we had all 4 of these guys jump in. So guys, thank you so much. Dave, Arlen, Carl, and George, thank you so much for playing. I can't wait to see what happens next.
It was awesome.
I like the build-up of psychological horror.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a really, really good adventure. It's definitely a lot of the Starfinder ones are done really, really well. This one just really kind of I thought it would be cool seeing the progressive, like, wait, now this is weird. Wait, now this is weird. You know.
Yeah,
And I hope that you guys did a fucking hell of a job role-playing your characters too. That really made playing the NPCs off of you guys really, really fun. So thank you. All right. So then, for those listening at home, we will be back again in 2 weeks' time. If you are joining us live, or if you're joining us during the current pandemic, we do hope that this finds you healthy, safe, and weathering the current crisis as well as can be expected. We do hope that we've given you a couple of hours, or a few hours, I guess, today, to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think of the troubles that our heroes from the Pact Worlds are getting themselves into. And until we see you again, happy gaming.